Testing, testing. Hello, everyone. I'm going to tell you about fair use. It's the law. Warning: federal law allows citizens.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Marcus Speaks. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks Live, the podcast, the best podcast in the land, where we talk about everything underneath of the sun and then some more. I'm your host, Marcus. Welcome to another episode of Marcus Speaks. And we got a great show lined up ahead of us tonight for the simple fact that there's a lot going on in the news, and I had to pick every story precisely this week. 1 second, yo. Let me go off camera. So yeah, we will be getting into that in quite some time. So let me do some promotions, and then after that, we're gonna get right into the show, which is, if you've been watching, I start off with my pre-show, and then we get into the main show ahead of us. Now, to give a brief synopsis of what the pre-show is going to be talking about. The pre-show's more so political, so if you guys want to hear that, that's fine. If you don't, I say come back within the next 30 minutes if you don't want to hear anything political. Mainly, I'm going over this whole Trump Mar-a-Lago raid thing. I've talked about it before, and I just want to go over some more, as well as what Mark Zuckerberg said on Joe Rogan, and then I have a brief little thing to talk about Joe Biden's speech of what he made on Thursday night. So, I'll be going over that as well. If you're here for the main show, like I said, we got a packed show tonight. I'm going to be talking about this whole Lizzo and Aries thing, as well as some breaking news that happened yesterday with Aries and Tiffany Haddish, as well as I'll be talking about this whole debate that's been happening with this whole origins of hip hop and who contributed. I'm going over that tonight because I'm tired of the damn. I'm tired of the whole debate. So let me get into these promotions. So people, if you could like this video, share this video, and subscribe if you're new here. The scrolling tick down at the bottom, that is for you. Once you see the space, you can start reading, because that's everything that I used to say while during my promotions that I don't do anymore. those are there for you to read. So as soon as that space comes up, that begins the whole scroll and tick all over. And as well, if you pay attention to the lower third here, that yellow section at the bottom there, please, I would love for you guys to talk to me here on the live chat. There's no reason for y'all just to sit there and not participate, all right? Like the video, that's participating, sharing it to your social medias, that's participating, as well as, you know, hit me up in the chat. So, I got the wrong one up too. Here we go. That's the right one. This is the right one. I'm sorry, I had Marcus Speaks Play up there. Same thing though. So if you could, in the description box below, both of my YouTube channels is in the description box. Next week, I'm thinking about putting my all my links there, because that has all of my links there. Instead of me just say, hey, go to this, go to that. Just go to all my links after this week. So yeah, if you subscribe to the first channel, just scroll down. If you just put the video down at the bottom of your screen, scroll down from my channel, you'll see the second video there. No, that's the second video. The second channel that you can subscribe is right there. All right. As well, on Fridays, if you guys want to come through, if you have children, I do a game stream where I play video games every Friday. Those video games I stream not only here, but to Marcus Speaks Play channel, and as well as my Marcus Speaks production Twitch stream channel as well. So tell your friends, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell everybody, all right? But you can go and subscribe to all of those links down in the description box below. As well, if you want to come up here and talk to me, you can. This is the call-in show. You can come up here and talk to me. The link is in the chat right over there. So, well, if it's turned landscape, is over there, but it's down there if you're holding it upright. But the link is pinned in the chat section, all right? And I only have 3 rules when it comes to it, because under Maryland law, number 1, I have to let you know that, hey, you're being recorded right now. Number 2, I have these rules set here because not only is it here to protect the fun that we're going to have, it also protects my channel and all kinds of other things. So, those rules is this. Rule number 1. You must be on camera. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you come back here to the backstage, you have to see who I'm talking to. All right? It's for legal purposes. As well, if you don't want to be on camera here in the public, it's fine. When I bring you up here and I bring you here for the public view, you don't have to be on camera if you don't want to, but you still have to be on camera here in the backstage. Only reason why I say that is because some people may want to be on camera, some people may not want to be on camera, which is fine. So you guys can be off camera while talking to me here on the public side of the video, but here in the backstage, you have to be on camera. There's a private chat back here. You guys can let me know if you do or don't want to be on camera when being viewed from in the public, which is fine. Just let me know, type your name, and if you do or you don't make it a conversation. Just let me know here in the back. Also, rule number 3, please silence all noise in the background, all right? Please make your surroundings quiet. If you have to go to a secluded space in your house, please do so. If you don't have to, then that's fine. But I don't want to hear all the extra noise. If you're watching me on your TV, please lower the volume on your television before you talk to me, all right? Or if you're talking to me on your phone, please pause the video when you come to the backstage, all right? And I only have one more thing for you guys, and I said it in the beginning. Please like this video, subscribe to this to this channel as well as my other channel, and share it to your social media and let people know that this fun thing is happening right here on YouTube that they can come and view for themselves. So, with that being said, hey, that's all the promotions that I have for you guys today. But for everybody who's coming in here right now, I just want to welcome you guys again. And if you are here, I thank you and I applaud you guys. And I give you guys for big enough for me right now. Please like that video, like this video. Please like it. All right. So how about we get into the how about we get into this video here? Yeah, I gotta silence my own theme music. But anyway, so if you guys have been hiding underneath of a rock, you guys should know by now that Trump's Mar-a-Lago home was raided a few weeks back, and he got some legal counsel to help him out and stuff like that. But there has been some funny findings and some funny things happening right here in the that's been happening about the story. So earlier this week, if not last week, Senator Lindsey Graham warns America that if Trump is indicted, there will be riots in the streets. Now, why he said this, I have no clue, but is he telling the truth? Hey, I still have no idea. He could be telling the truth, he could not be telling the truth, but we all know how crazy the Trump supporters are for their fearless leader. So, hey, time will tell. So, I have a brief article for you guys from The Hill on this part. There's a second part to this, which I'll let you guys know who wrote that article when I get to it. But starting off with this article from The Hill, so Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican senator of South Carolina, earlier this week warned of riots in the streets if former President Trump is prosecuted for his handling of classified materials found when the FBI searched his Mar-a-Lago home. So if you guys don't remember, what was it, like late July or something like that, early August, the FBI came rolling up on Trump's Palm Beach home, Mar-a-Lago, and they raided it for classified documents that he said that he declassified during his time of presidency or before he left the White House. But the FBI, or not the FBI, but the Department of Archives, of National Archives, kept getting in contact with him and telling him, hey, yo, like, we got these documents that we need and you're not cooperating with us. So Trump, on the other hand, he has said that he has been as much of a help to the FBI or the DOJ with this whole ordeal since the beginning, but somehow something's going on with all of that. So moving forward, if there's where am I at on this? If there's a prosecution of Donald Trump for mishandling classified information after the Clinton debacle, if you guys don't remember, Hillary Clinton's whole ordeal during the 2016 presidential election, she had a server full of emails of classified information in her own home server. Now, she was not prosecuted for that, for having classified information. So, you want to? Here we go. Turn around. They saying Trump has classified information now, and they want to prosecute him for that. So who knows what the whole ordeal is with that? Because hey, he might have had it. Like we don't know this. And he said he declassified it before leaving. We don't even know if he did that or not. He may have. So if he is, and I'll say this myself, if he is prosecuted on this with the whole MAGA crowd, and if you guys haven't heard President Biden's speech that he did in Philadelphia on Thursday night, that kind of ties into what I'm talking about right now too. So let's keep going. So there'll be riots in the streets. Graham told former South Carolina Congressman Trey Galdi, who now hosts Fox News Sunday Night in America. Trump shared a clip of the interview on Truth Social later Sunday evening, and I'm gonna bring this up. So this is the very video that Trump shared on his social media app, and this is what Senator Graham had to say.
But all members of the House and Senate begin to block off time for state prosecutors going forward. Is that where we are?
Well, if we let county prosecutors start calling senators and members of Congress as witnesses when they're doing their job, then you're going to throw out of kilter our constitutional balance here. I've got a good legal case. I'm going to pursue it. But I just want to sort of end in this note. You love the law. I love the law. I've never been more worried about the law and politics as I am right now. How can you tell a conservative Republican that the system works when it comes to Trump? Look at what happened with Crossfire Hurricane. It was a joke of an investigation. People lied and manipulated the evidence. Look what happened to Hunter Biden. They gave him a complete pass, apparently, and the social media outlets in this country suppressed information that could have mattered. And if they try to prosecute President Trump for mishandling classified information after Hillary Clinton set up a server in her basement, they literally will be riots in the street. I worry about our country.
So that was him telling America that there might be riots in the streets. But hey, look, it is sort of the same if you look at it. Because of this, Hillary Clinton had her own private server of which legal sensitive information from the government was being forwarded to her own private email, or maybe it was a government email that she used while she was at her home. So from what we know, she what's the number she had? Something teraflops. It was some big number, teraflops of emails, and the emails ranged. I think they said it was like over 100,000 or something like that. She had that many private, well, not private, well, they private government emails that were forwarded to her own personal email or on her server. So, hey, if this is the same thing, then maybe they should rethink something. Maybe prosecute Hillary during this time as well. I don't know. So Gaudi was chairman of the House Select Committee on Benghazi, which probed the 2012 terror attack in Libya that left four Americans dead and uncovered a private email server by Clinton. Graham expressed concern that Trump is treated with a double standard and repeated his warning of riots regarding the Georgia special grand jury investigation attempts by Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election results in the state. Graham himself has been subpoenaed in that probe in connection with phone calls made to Georgia election officials seeking to change the election results in the state. The South Carolina senator on Sunday also talked. One second, y'all. Also talked about claims that FBI was told to back off investigating Hunter Biden's laptop to keep stories about the president's son out of headlines ahead of the 2020 election. Most Republicans, including whoever is writing this, because they have, including me, I don't want to say me, but whoever wrote this, believe that there is no law when it comes to Trump. It's all about getting him, Graham said. So, this last part, I have the Mark Zuckerberg video as well. That ties into this as well. This ties into this also. So, the first story, I have things that tie into it. So, take this ride with me, all right? Just get in the passenger seat, turn some tunes on. So, from NPR, Trump files a response to the Justice Department. I mean, not the Justice Department, the Department of Justice. Sorry. Former President Trump legal team has filed a response to the Justice Department's filing last night, which revealed new details about the FBI's search on Mar-a-Lago for classified documents. Trump's lawyers said they want the special master to decide questions of executive privilege. Now, if you guys don't know what a special master is, it's like a third party when it comes to like I guess like legal things. Like instead of like the FBI going into interrogations and asking Trump questions and stuff like that, Trump's lawyers would much rather a special master do it instead of the FBI, because if you guys don't know, the FBI has been kind of crooked these past few years, if not forever. So you guys need to start thinking about this stuff when it comes to Donald Trump being raided in the first place. No president has ever went through this type of ordeal during his time from not being president anymore. This has never happened. So, is anything new under the sun? No, but this is sent some alarms flying, because since this never happened before, and Trump has said that he's declassified the very documents that the FBI have now, that they raided his home for, of which they put a padded lock on the door of which these documents were. Somebody has to call bullshit. So, just saying. Now, let's see. Not just the limited questions of attorney-client privilege. Some legal experts have said that executive privilege exists during a dispute between different branches of government, not the same one, as in this case. Late Tuesday, prosecutors provided a 36-page court filing which detailed efforts to hide sensitive documents that belong to the U.S. The filing included a photo showing top secret documents on the floor at Mar-a-Lago. So, people, these are the documents that are on the floor at Mar-a-Lago. Why are they sitting on the floor? If they're so top secret, why in the hell are they on the floor? Now, Some of you may say, well, Marcus, they're processing them for evidence. Well, check this out. When processing for evidence, when evidence is kept, it's usually kept in a lockup, in like some sort of maybe with the federal government, they probably have like a warehouse of documents. So they give it a number, they place it on a shelf somewhere to be found whenever it's time. If the time comes, if Trump gets prosecuted, they go and grab those boxes, and that's the evidence. But this is the thing. Anybody who has clearance to get into that locker, who can get that number, can look at these documents. If they're so sensitive, why in the fuck are they, one, on the floor? Number two, why are they being processed for evidence? If the National Archives wanted these documents so bad, why didn't the FBI take these documents directly to that entity? They're government documents that they've been asking for how long now, and they're processing them for evidence so Trump can be prosecuted for handling or mishandling classified documents, top secret classified documents. Okay, so if that's the case, then why is that being processed for evidence? Makes no sense. Let's make it make sense right now. So, the former president's Florida home, which seemed to have been kept with Trump's collection of framed magazine covers, in Wednesday's response, Trump's attorneys played the Justice Department's concerns about the classified material found at Mar-a-Lago, saying in the filing that there was no cause for alarm. They added the Justice Department significantly mischaracterized in their filing a meeting in June between prosecutors and Trump's legal team. And they added that without a special master, prosecutors will impugn, leak, and politicize details of its investigation. The Justice Department previously said that a team examining the materials seized at Mar-a-Lago has already identified a limited set of material that potentially contain attorney-client privileged information, and completed its review of those materials. Now the DOJ wants to charge Trump's attorneys as well. This is the crazy shit that's happening right now with this whole Trump Mar-a-Lago raid shit. Like it's getting fucking nuts right now. Like it's getting very nuts. And if you're not scared, if MAGA, Ultra MAGA, Dark MAGA, the rhinos, whoever you may call these people, if you're scared that they might riot in the streets and cause a civil war, of which the article I'm about to get into, this whole Biden speech that he did Thursday, that basically he went after these very people. He basically said in his entire speech, the entire speech was about don't trust the MAGA crowd, don't trust these MAGA people, democracy, 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 democracy. Like he was basically saying keywords. You gotta remember, it is an election year, and the Democrats are hurting right now, and they needed some sort of one up to get their shit together for when November gets here, which is only 2 months away now, and they're not looking too well right now. Now, so this is your boy Brandon right here, aka Pedo Hitler. That was trending all on Twitter. After the speech, it trended for what, like 2 days, and then but his speech, Mr. Fishshake himself, like if you guys didn't watch this video, in a when he came out, this is what you saw: an all red lighted background, and CNN even had to adjust the color so it didn't look so sinister. I don't have that video. You guys can look for it yourself. I believe the speech was 20, maybe 30 minutes, maybe. You guys can look it up, see what he said. So, do at it as you will. But this is the article. I forgot to bring up one thing before we start this article. I gotta pull up this one thing and then we can get back into the article. All right. So, um, everybody bear with me one second. All right. So, on Thursday evening, President Joe Biden delivered his first primetime address to the nation in months, using the speech to attack the Republican Party with nearly 2 months until voters hit the ballot box nationwide in their states' respective primaries. Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent extremism that threaten the very foundation of our republic. Biden conceded that not every Republican is extreme or embrace that extreme ideology or of MAGA Republicans, but there is no question that the Republican Party today is dominated, driven, and intimidated by Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans, said Biden. That is the threat to this country. Biden said that his duty as a president is to tell the truth. Excuse me, hold on. What president do you know has ever told the goddamn truth? You let me know that. Other other than who told the truth? What president told the truth? Uh Bill Clinton told the truth. He told us he didn't have sexual relations with that woman, which was true. He just got his dick sucked. That's the part that he didn't tell y'all. But Clinton is probably the only president that has ever told us the truth. Because he didn't have sexual relations with that woman. He just got his dick sucked. Ain't nothing wrong with that, all right? Getting your dick sucked by your intern, there ain't nothing wrong with that. If she's game and you game, then y'all get to suck it. But anyway, where was I at? Okay, so stating that MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution, they do not believe in the rule of law, they do not recognize the will of the people, they refuse to accept the results of a free election. That's to be judged later, really, because you know, just a little information to everybody. If you voted by mail-in ballot, I hope you do know constitutionally that's illegal. Just letting you guys know that. Not saying, look, I'm not. Let me state my case. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat neither. Nor am I a libertarian. I'm not a liberal. I'm not a. I'm not. Well, I'm kind of conservative, but whatever. I'm not a liberal. I'm not all the way conservative, nor do I hit the middle. I'm a free thinker, all right? I am a free thinker. I don't really fuck with when it comes with president elections. I pay attention to my local elections. There's a lot of people around here I don't like, so I don't really vote all that much. So just letting you guys know that right now. All right, so getting into this, noting January 6th, Biden said that MAGA Republicans see their failure to stop a peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election as preparation for the 2022 and 2024 elections, and that they had tried to nullify the votes of 81 million voters. Now, let me stop right there. As Uncle Hotep would say, Them white people was going there to get themselves some freedom. That's what the fuck they was doing. That's what Uncle Hotep says. Y'all tune into Hotep's been told you every Thursday. Anyway, uh, that was his take on it, and I don't disagree because this is my thing. When you start seeing white people riot in the streets, just know it's for good reason. All right, it's never just a throwaway. Y'all remember the summer of love in 2020 when everybody basically was doing that bullshit, just riding for no fucking reason? Well, it was a reason why they did it, but y'all basically took a whole bunch of bullshit that doesn't, it's not even worth anything right now. But just saying. But them white people went to that damn Capitol building and wanted to get themselves some freedom. 2 cops died, and one of the women on the MAGA side died as well. So blood was shed. And what Malcolm X says, the only way a revolution, the only way, the only way, hold on, I'm about to paraphrase here because I know the quote, I just can't get it right. The only way a revolution can work is through bloodshed. What do you think happened with the January 6th shit? Motherfuckers died that day. Motherfuckers got hurt that day. So, just saying. All right. Let's see. And they had tried nullified votes of 81 million voters. Okay, so it's Donald Trump and the extreme MAGA Republicans voted clear and present danger to our democracy. Biden said that he believes the country is at an inflection point and that Americans must choose to move forward or to move backwards to build a future obsessed about the past. To be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear and division and darkness. To, to be honest, during the MAGA years, I didn't mind because I seen it like this. A lot of black people harp on that they hate racism, right? But how do you hate something when it's never in front of your face? During the MAGA years, a lot of those motherfuckers came out of the bag, which I liked because it was like this. Would you rather a racist be covert or overt? I'd rather my race is to be overt. I'd rather see him in the street. I'd rather you say how racist you are towards me. I'd rather hear that instead of your liberal crowd that basically your white liberals are basically undercover racists. Just to let you guys know that. The liberal crowd is basically undercover racists, the white liberal crowd. And those are the people that you deal with basically on a daily basis that, you know, that say, "Hey, I'm all in with this and that and blah 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 blah." But they won't. I bet you that they don't live around any black folks, Hispanics, Chinese, whatever. Those motherfuckers are the most racist motherfuckers in the world. All right, just letting you guys know. Now, MAGA Republicans have made their choice. They embrace anger. They thrive on chairs. I don't know what the hell he meant by that. They live not in the light of truth, but the shadow of lies. And he's the one to talk. But anyway, let's keep going. Biden stated to the crowd that America is a nation that rejects violence as a political tool, which I also call bullshit on because of this reason. Because from what I understand, it's always been America who has always caused the violence to other countries all of the time. So what the fuck is he talking about? Now, if you guys don't know exactly, or if you didn't watch the speech, this is kind of how it went. It kind of went like this.
represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic. It's dangerous. It's against the rule of law.
What's happened?
The Chancellor's been elaborating on a plot by the Jedi to overthrow the Senate.
And now, America must choose to move forward or to move backwards, to build a future or obsess about the past, to be a nation of hope and unity and optimism, or a nation of fear, division, and of darkness.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
So President Biden, basically delivered his speech just like that. Because every so often there would be applauding and all this. It was like he didn't even really say shit. Like he said a whole bunch of shit, but nothing at the same time in unison. Like it was crazy. But hey, man, if that's what he feels as though is the best thing for the country, y'all follow his lead if y'all want. Because I said this. I said this a couple, probably starting last year. I asked you guys on this very podcast, do you guys have buyer's remorse yet? Because for anybody who voted for him and doesn't have buyer's remorse right now, I feel bad for you. Because this is the very man that you put in office because you didn't like another guy. I don't understand. Anyway, moving on. So, on the Joe Rogan experience, Joe Rogan had Mark Zuckerberg, owner and CEO of Meta, which underneath of that is Oculus, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, and I forgot the other thing. But anyway, it doesn't really matter what he owns. But in this very conversation that I'm about to bring up, he spoke on what was said in the earlier article of a certain somebody's son, Emperor Biden. I'm sorry. President Biden basically, President Biden's son, the first son, when a little story came out about him, the FBI paid him a little visit and told him a little thing, and I'll let you guys hear that in just a second. This is exactly what the FBI said to Mark Zuckerberg.
How do you guys handle things when they're a big news item that's controversial? Like there was a lot of attention on Twitter during the election because of the Hunter Biden laptop story. The New York
we
Post.
have that too.
Yeah, so you guys censored that as well?
So we took a different path than Twitter. Basically the background here is the FBI, I think, basically came to us, some folks on our team, and was like, hey, just so you know, like you should be on high alert. We thought that there was a lot of Russian propaganda in the 2016 election. We have it on notice that basically there's about to be some kind of dump of that's similar to that. So just be vigilant. So our protocol is different from Twitter's. What Twitter did is they said you can't share this at all. We didn't do that. What we do is we have, if something is reported to us as potentially misinformation, important misinformation, we also have this third-party fact-checking program because we don't want to be deciding what's true and false. And for I think it was 5 or 7 days when it was basically being determined whether it was false, the distribution on Facebook was decreased, but people were still allowed to share it. So you could still share it, you could still consume it.
So when you say the distribution is decreased,
it got shared.
How does that work?
It basically, the ranking in newsfeed was a little bit less. So fewer people saw it than would have otherwise. So it definitely,
By what percentage?
I don't know off the top of my head, but it's meaningful.
That's a goddamn lie. He knows by how many percent he downgraded that video. He said, and I'll let the video go in just a minute. Let me just say this. Twitter actually, with the Hunter Biden story that came out back in 2020, that story was floating around, right? It got buried by not only Twitter, but by Facebook as well. FBI came to him and said, yo, it's just the story that's about to come out about Joe Biden's son. We want that story to die. We don't want anyone to know about what's going on with his laptop. Now, if you guys don't remember, during that time, there was a story that came out about Joe Biden's daughter's diary, and someone handed it into I believe it was the Justice Department, I think, and it had some sensitive information in there that I will not go over, but I will tell you this: all the stuff that was in there was not good. That when it came to her dad, if you guys didn't hear this about I'll tell you all this that was in the diary. In the diary, it spoke of when his daughter was a young girl, she would take showers with her father. So this is Joe Biden's daughter saying this. And I also went over the Hunter Biden laptop story as well. I don't know what video it was. I'll try and find it. Maybe I'll put it up here in the up here in the cards or whatever. But Hunter Biden had his father's name in his phone as Pedo Pete. Now, if that isn't a caveat and a half of how Biden gets down, I don't know what is. Now, YouTube now may be fucking with my video. Maybe I have no clue. Hopefully everything is good, but this is the shit that we're talking about, man. Like, you see how all this is tying in? So the FBI is corrupt. Like, it's corrupt. They killed Malcolm X, they killed Martin Luther King, they killed John Lennon. I will say that they killed John Lennon. And just think of anybody else who was killed as well. Also, let's not forget about JFK. He was somewhere where he was supposed to be, but at the wrong time, and he got a splitting headache because of being there. But anyway, let's get back to the video, and we'll go over some more stuff. I have a brief article in here about this, so let's get to it.
But basically, a lot of people were still able to share it. We got a lot of complaints that was the case. Obviously this is a hyper political issue. So depending on what side of the political spectrum, you either think we didn't censor it enough or censored it way too much. But
Right.
but we weren't sort of as black and white about it as Twitter. We just kind of thought, hey, look, if the FBI, which I still view as a legitimate institution in this country, it's like very professional law enforcement, if they come to us and tell us that we need to be on guard about something, then I want to take that seriously.
Did they specifically say you need to be on guard about that story?
No, I don't remember if it was that specifically, but it basically fit the pattern.
All right. So that was very informational, I would say, for the simple fact that not only was the man telling the truth of the matter of what happened, but also he didn't lie. He told us just in that video. I suggest you guys watch the full episode on Spotify. He basically said that you could share the story, it just wasn't going to get any traction on Facebook. If you shared it, then okay, cool. But very few people would see it on your feed. So that's how they did it. So let's get into the whole thing about social media censorship. This this has been a problem ever since when Trump got into office, when they started censoring everybody, right? So it didn't become a problem until the pandemic, because everyone started sharing their theories, and then they came up with medical misinformation, disinformation, and all this crazy stuff. And now that falls underneath of misinformation, disinformation. But it has been proven true, even by the very man in, I believe it was a Wilmington, Delaware laptop repair shop that it was dropped off at. Even the guy who fixed the computer said that it was a lot of eerie shit in Hunter Biden's laptop that he didn't want to get into, even on camera. Now, is this man still alive? I have no idea, nor do I know where the hell the repair shop's at. But just know that if someone comes up missing who owns a laptop repair shop in Wilmington, we all know that it was the man that fixed Hunter Biden's computer. So let's get into this this article. Um so Mark Zuckerberg, he's an interesting character. An appearance by Mark Zuckerberg on Joe Rogan's podcast last week stoked controversy after the Meta CEO admitted that Facebook limited the bombshell Hunter Biden laptop story ahead of the 2020 election because of the FBI had warned about Russian propaganda. After the release of the episode on Thursday, the FBI said it routinely notifies U.S. private sector entities, including social media providers, of potential threat information, so that they can decide how to better defend against threats. In a statement released to Fox Business, the agency said it has provided companies with foreign threat indicators to help them protect their platforms and customers from abuse by uh, foreign malign influence actors. The FBI will continue to work closely with the federal, state, local, and private sector partners to keep the public information of potential threats, but the FBI cannot ask or direct companies to take action on information received. The agency said. Meta said later Friday night nothing about the Hunter Biden laptop story was new. So this is what they had to say. As we said, nothing about the Hunter Biden laptop story is new. Below is what Mark told Senator Johnson in October 2020, and what Mark told Joe Rogan this week. The FBI shared general warnings about foreign influences or interference, I should say. Nothing specific about Hunter Biden. So if you guys want to go and look at Meta Newsroom's post about that, they posted August 26th. Have at it and look at that. But I will say this, and I said this in a video as well. If you guys didn't look at when the heads of Google, Facebook, and Twitter was at the Senate, what the hell was y'all doing with y'all's lives? Because these men actually told the very truths of what the American people wanted to know about how they operate their platforms. And no one really batted an eye to what the hell they said. But I paid attention. I watched both days, all 6 hours of that information of them telling it. And the shit was very damning. I'll let y'all know that now. Now, the FBI shared general warning about foreign interference, nothing specific about Hunter Biden, the company said. In the final week of the 2020 presidential election, both big tech and the liberal media suppressed the New York Post, reporting that shed light on the shady foreign business dealings of the son of then candidate Joe Biden. If you guys don't know, Hunter Biden was on the board of a Chinese, I believe it was an energy company named Burisma, and hell, if he was doing cocaine, well, not only cocaine, but as the white people say, crack cocaine. If he was doing crack cocaine in China, then this motherfucker is the illest nigga I know. And I don't even know this motherfucker. But if he was showing up high as a kite off of crack at a board meeting in China of a foreign business, this nigga is ill. But, well, he is ill. But anyway, but yeah, we still don't know what Joe Biden's hand is, like, if he has a hand in that as well. We don't know this. We just know this, that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were sharing a banking accounts, which I don't know if you can do that. I don't even know if that's legal. Number two, Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, when it came to when the laptop information came up, like, you can view this anywhere. If you type in Hunter Biden laptop findings or something like that, you can see everything of like text messages and shit like that. That was trending on Twitter as well. But they took a lot of people's posts down when it came to the pictures and all this other craziness that was shown on there. I could put it in the cards now, maybe, of that video that I did, but like I said, I don't know if I have enough room with the cards to actually do that. So but I'll do what I can. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see. Okay, so both Zuckerberg and then Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, which Jack Dorsey has stepped down since earlier this year sometime, expressed regret for their actions in limiting the distribution of the Post's reporting. Now, the New York Post posted that information to Twitter. Twitter then suppressed all information after that post. This is when also everything was getting into, well, should these big tech companies be censoring the public at all? And a lot of people had mixed feelings. But be that as it may, censorship when it comes to free speech. Now, social media companies don't have to put up with it, but within the rule of law, that's our First Amendment right, is free speech. But we can get in trouble for it. But why is it that they're treating us as if we're kids and not allowing us to say anything on these platforms when it comes to misinformation and disinformation? But a lot of the things that people that was talking about when it came to this misinformation and disinformation was actually true. The thing is, they didn't have any way to provide enough information to see if it was true or false. They had to wait. So we had to wait as well. So, shit happens. Let's see. And several news organizations, including the New York Times, Washington Post, NBC News, and Politico, have since verified the authenticity of the laptop. Senator Ron DeSantis, or Ron Johnson. Oh, come on now. Uh, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican of Wisconsin, revealed this week in a letter to Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz that whistleblowers alleged that FBI officials told agents not to investigate Hunter Biden's laptop for months over concerns it would impact the 2020 election. According to Johnson, individuals with knowledge of Hunter Biden's case told his office that the investigation was intentionally slowed on orders from local FBI leaders. So that's what the fuck we're dealing with in this country as of now. That concludes the pre-show, people. So y'all give it up for yourselves. Y'all stuck in there. Y'all was in tune. Y'all was paying attention. Y'all ready to get into the real show? Now, before we get started, I do want to go over a quick overview again of what I'm going to be speaking of, as well as people. This is the call-in show. Call in if you want to come talk to me about any topic that I present tonight of the two topics, or if you want to get into the pre-show topics, we can talk about that as well. You can do so by hitting the link in the live chat right now if you want to talk about this stuff now, or if you want to hold off until later to talk to me right now. Like I said, there are 3 rules. Number 1, you must be on camera behind here in the backstage, and if you want to be on camera in public, that's fine. If you don't want to be on camera, that's fine as well. You still have to be on camera here in the backstage. Let me know here in the private chat in the back if you want to be on camera. If you don't want to be on camera, which is cool. Don't make it a conversation. Just let me know. Just put your name and if you want to be on camera or not. And also, the 3rd rule, please silence all background noise if you can. It would help me out a lot. Now, getting into the overview of tonight, we'll be going over comedian Aries Spears and Lizzo battling it out over Aries' words on a YouTube channel interview that he did last week, or it was posted last week, I should say. Also, I have that breaking news as well with that involves Aries Spears as well as Tiffany Haddish. That just happened yesterday. And as well, I want to get into the history of hip hop, the origins in the debate that is going on about who created hip hop, who contributed to hip hop, and all that shit in between. Now, everybody, let's get into today's show. Now, starting out, Lizzo, or should I say, comedian Aries Spears, had some funny words to say about the singer and flautist when it comes to her appearance. But the question at hand when asked was about Lizzo's music and if he liked it or not. And this is what Aries Spears had to say.
Yo, you know somebody that actually make good music, man? Lizzo.
Lizzo?
Yeah, bro. Have you heard her shit, yo? Like as a songwriter, yo.
I can't get past the fact that she looks like the shit emoji.
Yo.
Very beautiful girl. She got a very pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off, nigga. Like, come on, man. Come on, yo. I'm sorry. Listen, I ain't the most in shape nigga in the world, but I still, when you funny and you got swagger and confidence and you decent looking, I think I'm at least handsome, you get pussy. But a woman that's built like a plate of mashed potatoes is in trouble.
Holy shit. It's kind of ironic I'm wearing a blue shirt as well tonight, so who knows what's going to happen with this story.
I'm sorry. But musically, yo, she go hard, man. She a good songwriter, though.
Oh, yo, she's dope. Her music hard, her body ain't.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh, here they come. the wall of Braveheart bitches, like the battle on the field coming over the hills. Are you ready for war? You can hear the horses thumping on the fucking ground. It's about to, here he come. Who that motherfucker think he is? Be body shaming that motherfucker.
Hey, yo. It's another thing, yo.
You know what kills me? Yo. Hold on. You know what kills me about women is the hypocrisy and the contradiction. Yes, queen, slay, queen. Yes, queen, slay. Yeah, girl, your confidence. Fuck diabetes. Fuck heart problems. Fuck heart disease, cholesterol. Y'all claim womanhood and about sisterhood and support for your sister, when it come to that ridiculous shit. But if you really gave a fuck, why wouldn't you go, black girl, we love you. We love your confidence, boo-boo. But this ain't it. This ain't it. That's the real love. Y'all will jump on me for making jokes, but y'all won't fucking be real and go,
hit
sister,
that live
put
chat
the
section up,
down.
y'all. I want to hear what y'all
This
have to
ain't
say.
it. It's treadmill time.
Speaking of that, right, because she does have issues with her weight, right? And it's actually a video online of her crying about being...
Hold on. I'll let him finish.
Did you see that video of her crying?
We all do.
Now, if you guys didn't see that video of Lizzo crying on her live saying, that she doesn't feel respected and all this other craziness and blah, 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 which happened, I believe, earlier this year, if not late last year or whatever. But this is the very woman who puts mustard on her Oreos. Look, come after me if y'all want. I don't give a fuck. This woman, which she's 34, so she has to be she was either born in the year I was born of 88 or a year before, but she's 30 fucking 4 years old. She should know better. Now look, they even label, which I believe they said that Lizzo's vegan. Which Oreos Oreos, yes, are labeled vegan. They can be eaten by people who are vegan. But she puts mustard on her Oreos, yo. Now you tell me. Now, I'm not calling her fat whatsoever. But this big bitch is doing a lot of fat girl shit right now. She puts mustard on her Oreos, and I just heard from somebody over the week that her vegan choices are kind of like junk food choices, like vegan burgers and shit like that. Yeah, cool, you can have that shit, but if you worry about your weight and people making fun of you and shit like that, you should start eating better. And look, I'm not the skinniest nigga in the world, all right? But when I can be, I look flawless. Now, do I battle with my weight too? Yes, I do. I do battle with my weight. But I don't put mustard on my fucking Oreos, all right? I don't even like Oreos. But she does a lot of fuck shit, and she tries to cry it off and like, no one likes me. Like the time she went to the Laker game and had her whole ass out. This is a family function. Read the room. You are in front of millions of people at home and 20,000, 22,000 people at the stadium. You didn't think for one moment that there are innocent kids in the stands looking at you. You were on the fucking, what's that thing that they call, that sits in the middle? What do they call that? Where they keep scoring shit? The screens that are on that, you were on them and people saw you and you started shaking your ass and your whole ass was out. What the fuck, yo? Now I can call a spade a spade. I can call it how I see it. Now, is Aries being a little too harsh when it comes to talking about Lizzo? maybe he is. But also this. She does a lot of fuck shit that you feel as though that we're not supposed to pay attention to and just look it over. Nah, fuck all that, yo. She does a lot of stupidness and then cries later when she wants attention from it because it didn't go within her favor. That's a little fucked up.
I do.
But yeah, man, she says she be having an issue, man, with people fat shaming her about her weight and cracking jokes about how big she is.
Well, how you gonna have issues, but at the same time show your whole ass at an NBA game? As comedians, we take what the defense gives us. You don't want to be put out there? Then don't put it out there. And again, I know, listen, I ain't never met a plate of pasta I didn't like. I'm a pasta hooer, nigga. I'm trying. It's an everyday struggle for me. I come from a family where, we drank fried milkshakes.
My thing is, all right, that's the next video, though. So let's get into the article. So it says, this is from The Root. Aries Spears is feeling like the heat of the feeling the heat last weekend as his comments during a recent interview comparing pop star Lizzo to the shit emoji have gone viral. And while the 47-year-old Spears is doubling down on his statements, Lizzo's fans and nearly the entire internet have jumped to her defense. I can't get past the fact that she looks like the shit emoji, Spears stated during the Art of Dialogue interview. The YouTube channel and platform dedicated to evaluating hip hop culture posted the interview with Spears on Saturday afternoon, and the comedian can be heard answering a question about Lizzo's talent, which quickly turns into an assessment of her appearance, health, and his take on the women's empowerment movement. She's got a very pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off like, come on, man. Come on, yo, he continued. I'm sorry. Listen, I ain't the most in shape nigga in the world, but I still, when you funny and you got swagger and confidence, I believe you said, and confidence, and you and you decent looking, I think I'm at least handsome. You get pussy, but a woman that's built like a plate of mashed potatoes is in trouble. Fuck diabetes, fuck heart problems, fuck heart disease, cholesterol. Y'all claim womanhood, about sisterhood and support for your sister. When it comes to that ridiculous shit, but if you gave a fuck, why wouldn't you go, black girl? We love your confidence, boo boo, but this ain't it. This ain't it, he said. So, also to get into the fray of the whole situation was comedian Godfrey. Comedian Godfrey shares what he believes is a good assessment of the situation as well. Let's hear what Godfrey has to say.
You're bringing the
Wait a minute.
My thing is, you're bringing the attention that you actually bring yourself. You're twerking in a basketball game in front of family and children there. Right. And here you go with that sassy big black girl bullshit. This shit is fucking played out. The old school black community used to be like, man, sit your fat ass down. Period. Remember that? Lizzo, I think she's very talented. Her videos are cool. But listen, if you don't want that to happen to you, you got to really stop that kind of attention. I mean, you can do what you want, but people can say what they want. That's right. So remember that. They can say what they want. You can cry all you want. My thing is, how are you carrying yourself? You are not the first heavyset black woman in entertainment.
All right. So, but he didn't stop there. That's the real love, Spears went on. Y'all jumped on me for making jokes, but y'all won't be fucking real and go, sister, put that Put that eclair down. This ain't it. It's treadmill time. As you can imagine, Twitter was quickly aflame. I'm blown away that Aries Spears had the big mouthed audacity to attack Lizzo for being fat. He's a fat black man encouraging us to weaponize fat phobia against Lizzo. The math just ain't mathin'. One user wrote, another said, the Lizzo hate still really gets under my skin because all that women does is put out good music. Love her beautiful self and cheer for everyone else to win. While another user replied, meanwhile, Lizzo is twerking and jumping around on stage while playing a whole ass wind instrument. And this man is dealing with labored breathing, just sitting, just sitting and hating. That's crazy. As Spears begins to visibly sweat, he starts digging himself into a deeper hole. But he wasn't sweating. That wasn't sweat. That was makeup. I hope you guys know that. Like, okay, when he went on, and this is like years after this, him being on comedian Corey Holcomb's 5150 podcast. This came like years later, or if not like a year later or something like that. So the first time Aries Spears went on to the 5150 show is when he got his ass whooped by one of Corey's old co-hosts, Zoe Williams. So he was on there. He told the story of why his eyes looked the way that they did. He said he got into a motorcycle accident. Okay, we'll take it as is. But then he went on to the hate was still gone. This is when everyone in the black community who was watching Vlad before his views on him talking about Minister Farrakhan came out. This is when the black community was watching Vlad, the ones who don't watch him anymore. So he went on to Vlad TV. He answered, he did the whole interview, and then he looked at the comments and saw how everyone was talking about him, about how he looked like a gooey raccoon and how he had a raccoon face and all this other craziness, which was funny as fuck. But this is why he wears makeup on his interviews, on his internet interviews, and whatever other interview that he does. So it wasn't sweat, it was actual makeup, just to let you guys know that. So let's see. Okay, so I'm not sure what it will take for people to stay out of black women's business, but I sure as hell wish we reach that point soon. All right, so moving on. Aries Spears gaslights fat women after he was slammed for fat shaming Lizzo. This story comes from Yahoo News, and this is what Aries had to say when doubling down on this whole ordeal.
What up, it's your boy Aries Spears. I had to put the Yankee on for this one. Listen, I know I'm trending right now because of the Lizzo joke. And I just want to say, man, a lot of you women are funny, with the critiques. I ain't funny, I'm fat, unattractive, no woman wants me. They always try to hurt you with what works for you the most. That's what they try to hurt. That's like you break up and you go, that's why you got a little wee-wee and you can't screw. But you've been with him for years. I'm 32 years in this game and I ain't funny. I'm 32 years in this game and I ain't never got no meow. That's hilarious. Y'all don't deal in logic and sense. You deal in emotion and anger. Come with something that's not subjective. Me being unfunny, unattractive, that's not a fact. That's subjective. Stop leading with emotion and anger and come with facts. You heard me? DM me for the link to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. And if there's any women out there who want to give me some meow for some of this, holla at me.
All right. So let's what he said to double down on everything, and he stands behind it. Comedian Aries Spears is responding to the people who are bashing him for fat shaming Lizzo. Spears recently appeared on a podcast and said Lizzo looked like the shit emoji, and posted a video message to his critics. A lot of women are funny with the critiques, he said. I ain't funny, I'm fat, unattractive, no woman will want me. They always try to hurt you with what works for you the most. While he was previously admitted that he is out of shape, Spears is taking offense to people questioning his comedic skills. I'm 32 years in this game, and I ain't funny, he said. Y'all don't deal in logic and sense. You deal in emotion and anger. The comedian urged women to come with something that's not subjective. Me being unfunny, unattractive, that's not a fact, he said. That's subjective. As Blavity previously reported, Spears unleashed his rant about Lizzo when he appeared on the Art of Dialogue show. I can't get past the fact that she looks like the shit emoji, he said on the show. She got a pretty face, but she keeps showing her body off like, come on, man. Spears admitted that he's not in shape himself, but also bragged about being funny and confident. But I'm saying, y'all, a funny dude can get pussy. I'm not even bullshit when I'm saying this. If a dude is funny and he's also fat and still has a good personality behind that, and he's confident behind what he talks about and what he says, yeah, he can get pussy. I'm just letting all the women out there know that. Go to your local tavern or bar, because usually, chicks that's built like Lizzo, they go to taverns and shit. Anyway, I don't want any females that's over 250 coming after me. All right, just chill the fuck out. These is all jokes. I know I know your heroes' feelings got hurt. I know your feelings is hurt, but just take the jokes and move on. All right. Now, where am I at? He also bashed women in general, calling them hypocrites. You know what kills me about women is the hypocrisy and the contradiction, he said. If you gave a fuck, why wouldn't you go, black girl? We love you. You're confident. Your confidence, boo-boo. But this ain't it. This ain't it. Lizzo took shots at her haters on Sunday when she took the stage to accept the Video for Good award. I don't know what the fuck that means. At the 2022 MTV Music Awards. So this is her accepting that very gift of which they gave her. Trying to get it to a good spot where it goes straight to it.
To the that got something to say about me in the press. You know what? I'm not gonna say nothing. They be like, Lizzo, why don't you clap back? Why don't you clap back? Because I'm winning. That's winning. That's what bitches so people.
So what the fuck was that? Anyway, I don't think I was gonna play this full video. I don't believe. Yeah, I don't think I was playing this full video. So let me get this next video exactly where I need it at. All right, now. To the bitches that got something to say about me in the press, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing. They are like, Lizzo, why don't you clap back? Cause I'm winning, ho. The 34-year-old said. Mike Epps entered into the fray to say something to Aries Spears. To say something about Aries Spears. Where am I? Say something. Let me read that over. Mike Epps entered into the fray to say something to Aries Spears about his harsh words about singer Lizzo. This is what Mike Epps had to say. Mike Epps said he looked dirty and sick and hasn't been on TV since Mad TV. There's a little thing in this next video that I'm going to show you guys. We'll get to it when I get there. So, Aries addressed the situation Wednesday on his show, Spears and Steinberg podcast, and he made sure he pulled no punches on making sure he was clear about what he said. And this is what he had to say about that.
Little dick ass on.
Where was she from?
She was Houston, nigga.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard the Houstonians talk like that, but she told me get my little dick ass on. You know what we learned? Eddie Murphy, he alluded to it in Delirious in the 80s. Something about singers make people go crazy. People love singers. I remember I did Stevie Wonder, had motherfuckers rolling up, even talking about, you the motherfucker to do Stevie Wonder? That shit ain't funny, motherfucker. Fuck you. Your mother brought you up wrong, that's what it is. Your mother got a wooden leg with a kickstand. Don't you ever let me hear you do that shit again. Like, you know, here, look. Here's the three singers you know you don't fuck with. Beyonce, because of course she's got the Beehive, which I always know about. Rihanna, I don't know what her clan is called. And Lizzo. And from what I was told, she has what's called the Big Bitch Brigade. Between women and, you know, black women, but other women, colors, nationalities too, because these are divas. And the homosexuals.
Well, since
the godmothers. And, you know, DL at one point.
Wait a minute.
Myself. Nick.
Since this is audio, I'm not going to show what was on the screen, but you guys, you get the picture. It's just audio, all right?
I kicked a motherfucking hornet's nest, nigga.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, boy.
You gonna address it? How are you gonna address it?
We addressing it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the only place you're addressing it is on the podcast.
Yeah,
recently, I think it was posted either today or yesterday. Aries Spears went on to Vlad TV, and Vlad asked him the question about the Lizzo thing. I don't watch Vlad, so I don't know what was said. So if you guys watch Vlad, watch the video afterwards, come back to this video when the stream's done, and write in the comment section what was said. Because I don't watch Vlad TV because of the shit that he said about Minister Farrakhan. But let's continue.
You know, my listen, I still don't think it's as big as like the Will Smith Chris Rock slap.
No.
And you know, DL Hewley, and I probably put more kerosene on the fire myself because, you know, when I did the interview on The Art of Dialogue, it wasn't but 50,000 views. And then a couple people sent me clips from it. And I even said in the interview, I said, I know after I say what I'm about to say, like Braveheart, nigga, you're going to feel the vibration on the ground of 1,000 elephants coming over the mountain. Are you ready for a war? And you know what? This is where I go. I probably put the kerosene on the fire because I think what made it a big deal, what really lit the match, had I not done this, I think it probably would have come and gone. But what I did in preparation for what I thought was going to be the onslaught before I'm the one that caused the onslaught was I made a post of me in bed and I put the caption over me, you know, to all the Lizzo fans out there, you're not going to break my soul. And I did like a Vogue, you know,
I
type
saw
of
it.
dance. Shimmy, you saw it. And I actually put Beyonce's You Won't Break My Soul behind it. It's cut to DL Hewley reposts it and he writes to me, yo, what the fuck? A bunch of laugh emojis. Man, you are crazy. Somebody take Aries' phone. But when I talked to him, I didn't, and DL at one point said, Aries, call me. And anytime DL Hewley says, Aries, call me, I feel like I'm being summoned to the principal's office. So he said, Aries, call me. And he goes, hey man, I didn't know that this was behind the heels of this interview you did. I just woke up, saw what you posted, and thought it was funny shit. Like, this nigga's just being silly on some good morning funny shit. I didn't know the context. And he goes, so then I looked at the interview, and he goes, I still would have posted it because the shit was fucking hilarious. But he goes, here's my thing to you. Stop talking to these people, man. Like I always say, Scarface balcony scene, I'm shooting 1,000 Colombians, Al Pacino, say hello to my little friend. He said, when you post what you post and you say what you say, stand on it. Don't respond to these people because like a bunch of people, and DL, of course, has multi-million followers, millions of followers, where I only have 215,000. So when he reposts something, then it really goes out. So there were a couple of people in his post that I responded to, and of course it's his feed, so he saw it. So he was telling me, man, you see, I don't respond to nothing. I don't give a damn what people say about me. And I've been called some of the craziest adjectives and whatevers and expletives. Stand on that shit, man. Do not apologize and do not respond to these motherfuckers. But by that time, the alarm had been sounded. Everybody that saw DL shit went to go look at the Art of Dialogue shit. And before I knew it, within 15 minutes, nigga, I was trending. So then I'm going, dude, I really don't believe it's that serious. Now I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. The next day, my publicist calls me and she goes, I've been hit with 15 to 25 different news outlets, all wanting to talk to you. Do not talk to anyone. I think the way to capitalize off this is maybe if you can get one major interview with the right person. Like I went through this with Bill Hicks, she said, and what's my man's name? The comedian that died in the car crash with his daughter and then died of cancer. Robert Schimmel, because she used to be their publicist. And she goes, we put a spin on it. They got HBO specials, so don't talk to anybody. And I said, okay. So again, I didn't think it was that big. And then the night before, Lizzo apparently won a VMA award. And she said in her acceptance speech, and I just want to say to all my haters, I'm winning, bitches. And everybody hit me up with the clip. And they said, Lizzo claps back at Aries Spears. And I went, you motherfuckers are really trying to piece this together. Because she didn't say my name. So if she would have said my name, that'd be different. Was she talking to me? Could have been. But she said my haters. And I'm not the first motherfucker to make Lizzo fat jokes. So I believe she was addressing any and everybody. But then this morning, I'm browsing through Facebook. And I didn't know Entertainment Tonight picked it up. And Entertainment Tonight said my name. And they put clips of my pictures with the moment. And they said comedian Aries Spears. So it has begun. And listen, again, in perspective, DL said to me, listen, man, it ain't like the world is tilting on its axis. You didn't murder nobody. This ain't something slanderous to the point where you pulled a Kevin Spacey. This shall pass. And honestly, it's not like this is as big as the Will Smith, Chris Rock fiasco. I don't even think the morning talk shows like The Talk and fucking The View and all those morning gossip, trending topics, bunch of bitches sitting around a table discussing hot topics. I don't know. I haven't seen anything, but I have, everybody's sending me every clip from every outlet, and I haven't seen that. So I don't really think it's that big, but it's big.
Yeah, I just listened to a podcast, and they brought you up, and they said you were doing it for the attention. They said you were doing it to get the attention.
Of course. Of course.
But, and then some other people hit me up, and I said, listen, Aries fans know who Aries is. This is not, he was making a joke. Now,
right.
To be honest about the joke, you've done this joke. I mean, this is something you've said, not about Lizzo, but something that you said about the emoji.
Right.
But I get why.
Well, the plate built like a plate of mashed potatoes
is the extra.
I've never done that
No,
before,
that's-
and that was directed towards Lizzo.
Yeah, but when you did the emoji thing,
Yeah.
I understand people like because
Laughs at their expense all day. Sweat is when I'm H-towning, knocking boots, nigga, fucking.
Hold on.
To a joke. Well, I'm a comic. My first instinct and thought is to always lead with funny. Again, whether you thought it was funny or not, subjective. Whether you thought it was in poor taste, subjective. But yes, indeed, I didn't just make fun of her. I poked a lot of fun at myself. Talking about, yo, butt naked, I look like Dolomite. I got the body of Esther Rollers, Florida Evans. I come from bad stock. My mother and father, Mississippi, Tennessee. Salt and grease was relevant in our house. We're the only family to drink fried milk. You know you need to lose weight when you need to catch your breath from breathing. I absolutely poke fun at myself. I said, listen, I'm not the most in shape nigga in the world. You know what I mean? And I said, you know, I even said it in a post that I sent out later, doubling down. I said, man, listen, I know I'm not in my wildest dreams. My fantasy, I would love to have LL Cool J's body from the 90s video, Love You Better, and Paradise. That's one of my fantasies. That's one of my to-dos on my forever, never-ending list of things to get done that I've been pushing off because it's so fucking hard. And I went, but the fact is, yo, I'm lazy. I like food. I don't like working out. The only time I like to sweat is when I'm H-towning, knocking boots, nigga, fucking. I don't enjoy it. I'm a pasta hooer. So, you know, and for even deeper than that, my other thing was, more importantly, was I've always had a bone to pick with the women, and let's be honest, particularly black women who lead this false sisterhood.
that said, hey, I get what you're saying, start at home. They all came at you about this guy. This guy, who does he think he is? And where did they go? Right to fat shaming. So how do you get mad at someone for fat shaming when you're fat shaming? How does this work? And like you said, for men, it's been like this. Who would name the sexy big dude that people are looking for in music? Who's that dude right now? Who's the sexy big dude? The last one I know was Meatloaf, and he had to call himself Meatloaf.
Well, it might be different in the black community.
There is more, but in a soulful singer,
like the Gerald Leverts, the Ruben Studdards, you know.
But come on, Ruben Studdard, how much fat jokes did Ruben Studdard get? Go, let's start right there, because you know what?
No, you're right.
Because he was mainstream. He was mainstream. He was on a national show. How much shit did he get?
Right.
So I'm not saying that I agree or disagree with your stance on what you said. And frankly, if someone put the gun to my head, I'd have to say I agree with where I know you. So it's easy for me to agree with what you're saying because I understood it. We've had these
the mature route to go, well, this is this. But my DMs and my shit is getting flooded up with, you fat motherfucker, you ain't funny, you ain't attractive. What girl would want to fuck you? How ridiculous. And again, I sent out a post about that when I said, listen, me being unfunny and unattractive, that's subjective. It's not a fact. You're leading with anger and emotion. And that's like a toddler going, well, you're a poopy head, and then sticking their tongue out and crossing their eyes. Like, y'all are coming with the same fucking talking points. Not to mention, you're not even addressing the serious aspect of it, which was more my meaning. But again, I'm a comedian, so I threw some jokes out there. But y'all are getting so angry that I'm sitting here going, you really think that in my 32 years of doing this shit, I ain't got no pussy? Seriously? Like, come on, man. Once upon a time ago, I was super fine. And a lot of women hit me up and was like, nigga, you are still sexy. Nigga, you're funny. Andy, when I say to you on my post where I went, hey, if there's any women out there that want to give me some meow in exchange for this, nigga, if you think I'm lying, I will show you my DMs. A lot of bitches hit me with, yo, I want to give you some meow, nigga. I've got naked pictures. I've got videos of bitches playing with their pussy. And this was my Sean Connery moment. When Barbara said to him, you're going to get a lot of mail. I might get a lot of female. And that's why I said that quote and that clip was so gangster. Because the reality
I might get a lot of female.
is...
Oh, wait. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, so back in, I believe, might have been late 80s, early 90s, maybe mid 90s, Sean Connery, I don't know what happened, but Sean Connery had a interview with Barbara Walters, I believe it was 2020 maybe, and I guess he said some stuff about women or whatever, and he said, so Barbara told him after he made his statement, she said, "You're gonna get a lot of male," and he said, "I might get a lot of female." So that's what he's referencing.
Yo, women love niggas with swagger. And if you even decent looking with some swagger and some confidence and you know how to talk that game, you get female. And there was a lot of women, dude, I'm telling you, that hit me up and said, Aries, I agree with you. I too am sick of her antics. Nigga, you said what we're all thinking. You just said it. You're not alone in this. Yes, there were a lot of women that were upset, naturally. But there was a lot of women, dude, who have stood behind me on this. Men too.
Well, and just to go over what you just said a second ago, because you brought up, you said diabetes was one. And then I saw someone sent me something, maybe it's on your post, I don't know. But it said, it was a picture of Lizzo and Halle Berry. And they said, which one has diabetes? So, they were saying, they were trying to say fat doesn't equal unhealthy. But
it don't help.
It doesn't help, and it is hard on your body. But that's beside the point here. I'm going to get to one thing that some people don't know, and I'm going to say this on the podcast this way, and I'm not going to bring up who it was, but we recently lost one of our fans that followed both of us regularly, came to all of our shows whenever they could, who was a big girl and just gave up on being a big girl. So this isn't, when I say that is, I'm not saying it was about fat shaming. That her situation was that she let the weight get her, and it took her, and we lost that fan, who was great to both of us. She really was. She was a supporter. She was out there, and people don't understand when we talk about this. It's not just something that is just so casual. Maybe if you wanted to put it into a series, we're comedians, so like I just said, you led with the joke, but there's more behind it. We know what it's like to be unhealthy. I know what it's like to breathe hard. I know what it's like to be trying to get up some stairs and you're tired.
Let me say one thing before this video continues. Which I believe that they're referencing this. They're referencing. I believe someone said that fat doesn't equal unhealthy. Now, with Lizzo's situation, Lizzo, she performs every night. If it is every night, if not every other night, she performs. She plays the flute while dancing. She does dance moves, which means it's a vigorous thing that she has to do. Probably for each song, she has to learn each dance step, and she's up there for an hour or so performing or whatever. So for her to be a big girl and doing those dance moves and playing the flute, she has to have a good wind about herself. Like, she has to probably be, with the weight, with her having the weight on her, and performing like that, she probably has, like, her heart is probably fine. I would probably say, because when I was fat, I still had. Well, no, I didn't. I'm lying. I was. They told me my damn doctor was about to prescribe me some damn high blood pressure medicine. That's when I knew. I said, "Oh shit, I need to get rid of this weight." And I dropped that weight. It probably took me all of maybe 8 or 9 months I had dropped like 80 pounds in like, I think it was like 8 or 9 months. And I went back. I remember this shit like it was yesterday. So I went in for that doctor's appointment. He told me, "Yeah, I'm gonna prescribe you some high blood pressure medicine because your vitals, they're a little off from the normal. So I'm gonna write you this prescription for this high blood pressure medicine to level you out a little bit." I wasn't stupid. I know what that high blood pressure medicine does because my mother's on it, my dad's on it, all three of my sisters are on it. I said, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to have a pill regulate my blood pressure. I'd rather do it myself. So that next week after, I started hitting the gym, and I started hitting the gym hard. I mean, so hard that I practically lived in that motherfucker. I cleaned my diet up. I made sure that I was eating clean. I was eating good. I wasn't eating any fuck shit other than, I would pick a day, and people, you don't get a cheat day. I'm gonna let you know this now. You don't get a cheat day because then you have to work all that shit off, all those bullshit ass calories and all those carbohydrates that you took in the day before. You then have to work even more rigorously to get that shit off of you. So, fuck the cheat days. You get a cheat meal. You get one meal of your choosing that you've been wanting. If it's a BLT or some fried chicken and some fries or some pasta and stuff like that, you get one meal of that and that's it. You go back to the way that you was eating. I know this for the simple fact that I did it and it worked. If Lizzo does the same thing, if she actually hires herself a chef when she's not on tour, hell, she can hire her. She makes enough money. She can hire a traveling chef to make all of her meals. I'm pretty sure she makes enough money to where she can afford that, and it won't be to where it's hurting her pockets, I would say. But I'm saying, like a lot of people when talking about this, especially myself, like, we don't want to hear one day that Lizzo died from heart complications, or she died from a heart attack, or she died from whatever the fuck. Like, we just lost, if you guys don't know, we just lost comedian Teddy Ray. Teddy Ray was a big guy. He didn't die because he was fat. He died because I believe they said that he drowned in a pool. That probably comes from black people not knowing how to swim. And from what I hear from his friends, some of his friends have podcasts that I watch. There was one of the groups of the podcast that I watched. They said that Teddy wasn't really getting good sleep because of whatever was going on with him. So anywhere that he would go that he felt comfortable, he would take a nap or so. So I don't know how he died. I just know that they said that the coroner's office or his information, his autopsy information, came up that he died from drowning. So much prayers to his family and his friends. But let's get back to this Lizzo stuff. We don't want to hear that one day that happened to her, because not only will it devastate her fans and her family and her friends, it'll also devastate all the people who actually said, yo, you need to get your weight in check. Like, people went after what's that woman's name that does Biggest Loser? Julia Michaels. Julia Michaels said on Steve Harvey, when Steve Harvey's show was on, Julie, is it Julian Michaels or Julia Michaels? This is one of the two. She said that Lizzo has to lose her weight because she's gonna either she's gonna suffer from something, high cholesterol, heart disease, cancer. Maybe if you guys don't know, being fat, you get a lot of unexpected ailments that you didn't think that you would get, such as cancer, heart disease, heart attacks, labored breathing. Maybe you might have to sleep with one of those sleep apnea machines. Like, you never know what you can cause yourself from being overweight. Shit, I looked at my body mass index of where I'm supposed to be, which was at the time when I checked. It was like they said I was supposed to be like 157 pounds. I said, the hell with that. My goal that I was damn nearby. I only needed 20 pounds to get to. When I first started working out vigorously, I weighed 350 or 351. It was either or, but 350. By the time I had wasn't worried about losing any more weight, I had dropped basically a whole fucking person. Like a teenager. I dropped a teenager. I was at 263 pounds, so I lost like like 100 and so pounds, 107 pounds or something like that. I dropped a whole teenage girl. So I was happy about it too, but my goal was 240. I wanted to get to 240, and I was watching these workout videos, and I saw that they did a thing where they cut their weight in the summertime, or like the warm months, such as like April through August, and then during the winter months they would bulk up. They would go up 10 pounds. So that's what I was doing. So I had almost hit my goal to where I could start doing that, which was cutting and bulking, which the bulk of me would have been getting to like 255 was me wanting to bulk up, and then cutting, I just wanted to get to 240. So if I could get there, that's what I wanted to do, but I wasn't able to get there. I plateaued at 263. So I was happy with it though, because I was feeling good. My clothes was fitting right. I had to buy new clothes because the clothes that I had weren't fitting. So I'm pretty sure if Lizzo took like a year and a half off and she just works on getting her weight cut down and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure she'll be happy with herself. But let's continue further on with the video. We don't have much more, and then I'll get into this whole Aries Spears and Tiffany Haddish thing.
Like, unnecessarily tired from being overweight. But when we lose somebody, I think there's a little bit more to it that resonates with us in a different way when we see it a different way. And that's what we do as comics, is comment on social order and disorder. And this was I'm not making a stand on Lizzo. Lizzo is who she is, and she can be whatever she wants to be. But as you just pointed out, when you throw it out there like that, when you go on national television, if you don't think that, do you really think you should only be praised? Is that how this world works? No matter who you are, whatever you do you think it only comes with praise? No, there's someone always looking at another side of it. There's someone saying anything. And as comedians, social commentary is
I
part
know,
of
but
what we do.
we're in an age now where you're not allowed. If it ain't good, you can't say nothing.
That's not how we play this game. And we're in the middle of it now. Do I think she should be? Do I think she should be fat shamed? No, but I mean there is a reality to this, and you could discuss the other side. I think it's important to discuss the other side because there's a lot of kids out there. Yes, they should be happy with who they are, but we should also try to work to making people healthier. This is the goal. I'm not saying she's unhealthy. I know a lot of people wrote in your DMs. She can play an hour-long show, play the flute, dance, and she works out. And there's videos of her working out, so we know that she works out. I don't have an answer.
But we also
to
know
Lizzo.
that she puts mustard on Oreos.
Okay. I don't have an answer to her situation. I'm just saying in general as a
Listen, man, listen. Don't think it don't stay in the back of my mind. I remember when Patrice passed and Opie and Anthony did a big thing, a day or two after. And, of course, they had a lot of people calling in that knew Patrice and loved Patrice and did O&A. I remember Chris Rock said, look, just because you're popular doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you get pussy doesn't mean you're healthy. And you don't think I think about that? It's like I'm not even saying I get pussy as to sweep under the rug. That yeah, I got issues. I got type 2. I got high blood. I got high cholesterol. And I know I need to get my shit in check. But like I said, until I do or while I struggle to, what am I not be a comedian? That would really be depressing. So, I think about shit like that. Whoa. So when Chris Rock said that, I'm going, yeah, but my bigger issue was when and again, maybe this is where DL Hewley is like, look, man, chill. And I have a hard time chilling. But when women are going, yeah, you ugly and you don't get no pussy. And I probably made about 3 or 4 posts, but that whole thing about people who have issues on the inside project to those because those are the inner demons within you and your ugliness makes you suck my dick with that. That's not why I do that. I'm a comic. Whether it's in bad taste, whether you don't think it's funny, my agenda is comedy. I'm not thinking about, my inner demons is why I'm not. I'm simply not. And look, one girl, and I'm about to play this clip. The one girl, this one Spanish chick, hit me up. And I mean, she sent me 4 videos. I didn't even look at the videos. I didn't have to. I could see the passion in her face. I could see it was like my window was closed and I couldn't hear the person on the other side, but I knew they was wanting to spit on me if I put the window down. So finally, we kind of get into a little back and forth verbally.
All right, so none of that's important, but he did bring up, I probably skipped over it, him bringing up Mike Epps, and he had choice words for Mike Epps. He said, motherfucker, don't nobody walk out of my show, so get your shit straight. And I was blown away when he said that because a lot of people had an issue with Mike Epps' last Netflix special. So, hey, maybe Mike Epps shouldn't have spoke so soon. But let's get into this next part. So, I forgot where I got this story from. I had it written down, but I guess I didn't put it in here. But it's from a reputable source. So, this next video I'm about to play is by one of my cohorts, the GMS show. You can catch the GMS show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. His time. I don't know if he goes by Mountain Time or West Coast time, but you can catch his show my time, Eastern Standard Time. He comes on at 7. So you can catch his show Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Sorry, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. As well, he is on another podcast called the 3Gs Podcast. You can catch him, AP, and Pac G every Friday, my time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But just just subscribe to him, shit. But GMS show put this video up the day that it got reported that Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears uh, was doing some foolishness with some children.
Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears are under hot water after being sued for allegedly grooming and molesting a child. Haddish's lawyer being the first to fire back, calling these allegations a shakedown and an extortion attempt. The reports are saying, despite the lawsuit claims, Funny or Die says they had no involvement in creating the video, telling TMZ Funny or Die found this video absolutely disgusting and would never produce such content. We were not involved with the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018 immediately after becoming aware of its existence. The lawsuit claims Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears groomed a 14-year-old girl and her 7-year-old brother, coercing them to film explicit skits, this according to the new lawsuit, but Tiffany's legal team is calling it nothing but a shakedown years in the making. The comedians are being sued by two siblings going by Jane Doe and John Doe, who claim they've been traumatized for life as a result of allegedly being groomed when they were children. The boy also claims to have been molested by both defendants. In the lawsuit obtained by TMZ, the older sister says she was just 14 when Haddish gained her trust and convinced her to film a sexually suggestive video, with Haddish teaching her how to mimic fellatio for the skit. The allegations get even more disturbing. In the suit, she claims her younger brother was only 7 when Haddish brought him to a home where Spears and Haddish molested him while filming a Funny or Die video titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Tiffany's attorney, Andrew Bretler, says the lawsuit is purely an extortion attempt, telling TMZ plaintiff's mother, Teresa Morris, has been trying to assert these bogus claims against Ms. Haddish for several years. Bretler continues, every attorney who has initially taken on her case, and there were several, ultimately dropped the matter once it became clear that the claims were meritless and Ms. Haddish would not be shaken down. Now Ms. Morris has her adult daughter representing herself in this lawsuit. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing this frivolous action. The siblings claim Haddish was friends with their mother, and they say the video featuring John Doe was published online via Funny or Die when he was too young to consent. In their suit, the sister says her resulting trauma has prevented her from dating because she's scared she will be taken advantage of and led down a path of false trust like the path that Haddish led her down. Both siblings say they have developed social disorders, and the brother claims he is so afraid of being watched or recorded, he places band-aids over all the cameras on his electronics. The siblings also say their mother tried to reach a $15,000 settlement with Spears over the alleged molestation video. They are going after Haddish and Spears for damages. As this story develops, I will keep everybody posted. Shout out to the GMS fam and the Green Room. I will see y'all later.
All right. So that was his take. So the video that that the GMS show was talking about is now posted. You can probably find it on Twitter. I was appalled when I saw it. I was like, "Come on, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, they should know better by doing this show, well, or this video. Like, they should know better. Like, none of it was funny. None of it was like it didn't seem right. It's especially now with it dropping after R Kelly being prosecuted playing what's that song called where he's like, my mind's telling me no, but my body, that kept playing in the video, and I don't understand really why it was made, especially the entire video. The little boy is in his underwear. Now, why in the fuck would a 7-year-old child be in his underwear in a YouTube video, basically? Like, what the fuck was that? Now, uh, like I said, I'm not playing that video because number one, my channel, if I ever have a chance of being monetized, it's gonna get demonetized. And number two, they probably might terminate my whole channel to begin with. A lot of people tried doing it, I believe, and they've gotten their channels taken away. So I'm not making that mistake, but I will say this. If you want to see it and judge it on your own merit, other than off of mine, like I said, the video's disgusting. It's appalling. It should have never been made. You can see it on Twitter, and you can judge from there. But I'm pretty sure you won't like it because it's disgusting. Now, so Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears, they're being accused of. Well, let's read the article. So, a new lawsuit accuses Tiffany Haddish and Aries Spears of grooming a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old girl at the time, and a 7-year-old boy at the time. Which now, the girl is 22 years old and the boy is 14. So, uh, and coercing them to film explicit skits. According to the Daily Beast, the pair of comedians are being sued by two siblings identified as Jane Doe and John Doe in the suit, and are now adults who claim they've been traumatized for life as a result of two alleged incidents in which Haddish and Spears allegedly encouraged one of the siblings to perform sexual suggestive acts on camera while underage, which is a crime. It's basically child pornography. The oldest sister says she was only 14 when Haddish gained her trust and convinced her to film a sexual suggestive video, which Haddish teaching her how to mimic fellatio for the skit. Additionally, Jane Doe claims her younger brother was only 7 when Haddish brought him to the home where she and the Mad TV alum molested him while filming a Funny or Die video titled Through a Pedophile's Eyes. Funny or Die has since denied any involvement in the production of such video in a statement to TMZ, saying, the video is absolutely disgusting, and we're not involved with the conceptualization, development, funding, or production of this video. It was uploaded to the site as user-generated content and was removed in 2018 immediately after being aware of its existence. Haddish's attorney, Andrew Bretler, has also since responded to the lawsuit, saying it's purely an extortion attempt and that the plaintiff's mother, Teresa, I guess that's how you say it, Teresa Morse, has been trying to assert these bogus claims since Miss Haddish for several years. Every attorney who has initially taken on her case, and there were several ultimately in. Hold on. Every attorney who has initially taken on her case, and there were several ultimately dropped. Severe. I don't know. Dropped dropped the matter once it became clear that the claims were meritless and Miss Haddish would not be shaken down. The statement continues. Now, Miss Morris has her adult daughter representing herself in the lawsuit. She's going to lose, just letting y'all know that now. Y'all should find some sort of legal counsel to take that case because your daughter's gonna lose. The two of them will together face the consequences of pursuing the frivolous actions of this frivolous actions. In Jane Doe's lawsuit, she says the resulting trauma has prevented her from dating because she's scared she'll be taken advantage of. Both siblings say they have developed social disorders. The sister brother pair are suing Haddish and Spears for general and special damages, as well as any appropriate statutory damages. The Daily Beast reports. So, I don't know how this is gonna, I don't know how this is gonna be. Like, it's up in the air for me, really, because it's hard to say what can happen from this. But if Tiffany Haddish's attorney says this is meritless, and also Aries' attorney has came out and said that this is basically an extortion attempt, and they're ready to go and play ball and go to court. Who knows how this is gonna end up? But I'm going to tell the lady now, Miss Morris, if your daughter is going to represent herself, she better know a little something about how to conduct herself in a court of law, what procedures to go through when doing it, and really, she shouldn't be doing it because it's stupid to represent yourself. So y'all should find some sort of legal counsel that will take this case and possibly do it pro bono. So I suggest y'all get someone who just passed the bar who's looking for work. Just saying. But that ends the first part of this video. Let's get to this last part here, which has been the debate on what is the origins of hip hop? Like, who created it? Who contributed to it? And who actually started this whole movement? Well, I have some answers if you guys have questions, but let's get into this here video of the birth of how hip hop came into conception and how it was birthed.
In August 1973, a young Jamaican-born New Yorker known as DJ Kool Herc threw a party in the South Bronx. With a pair of turntables, he improvised a technique that isolated and repeated musical breaks. That technique would lay the foundation for a genre known as hip-hop. Hip-hop music emerged from house parties in the Bronx and spread like wildfire between friends and neighbors at block parties. The new sound was electrifying.
In the schoolyard during recess, someone would have a boombox, and then someone would start rhyming. You didn't have recorded versions of hip-hop at that time.
Within a few years, it had become an underground cultural movement, and its distribution was homemade.
You couldn't purchase albums or records, and you couldn't hear hip-hop on the radio. The only way that you could participate in the culture musically was through these cassette tapes, which would circulate all throughout the city.
As its influence deepened and broadened, the music spread from the underground onto the radio. In 1979, a group from suburban New Jersey released Rapper's Delight, one of the first hip-hop records.
Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and the...
I'm gonna get flagged. God damn it.
Passion shared by millions of young Americans who used it to articulate their identity and their politics, creating a vibrant, multicultural community across the country.
Our generation of young people, we had to find new ways to communicate, just getting on the records and speaking about the truth.
Its lyrics reflected the social and economic conditions of the inner cities as seen through the eyes of the people who lived there.
Who said, it's the CNN of the Black community. It's actually reporting on all of these things that we've experienced in poetry form and musical form.
In 2017, hip-hop surpassed rock as America's #1 stream genre for the first time ever. Decades after its birth, hip-hop has grown from its underground origins in the Bronx to become one of the most popular genres of music throughout the world.
All right. Hopefully I don't get flagged, but I probably will because I got flagged for a 10-second snippet of In Vogue like 2 videos ago. So I'm gonna have to deal with that tonight, if not tomorrow. So anyway, so a lot of you guys are asking. So Marcus, what was the origins of hip hop? Well, you just heard some, and also I wrote a paper in social studies class, and when I was in the 11th grade about hip hop. Because I remember exactly when I realized I really was into hip hop. It was the summer of 2003, and the BET Awards had a celebration, like a segment at their BET Awards that was celebrating hip hop. So it was basically from the very start of hip hop to where it is now, and they was basically, well, not now, but back in 2003, but they basically showcased a whole lot of old school artists or whatever. And I remember the exact moment when I knew that I was in love with hip hop was when Rakim hit the stage and he did, I think he did 2 songs, maybe 1. And I remember after that I was hooked. Because I like R&B a little more then, but then when that exact summer, that exact day, that June day, that's when I knew I was in love with hip hop. One of my favorite movies to watch is Brown Sugar with Tay Diggs and Sanaa Lathan, which the movie basically talks about this. It was a boy and a girl who became friends because of their love of hip hop. But which they didn't know that their love for hip hop also stemmed off of them loving each other as well. So one of the lines in there that Tay Diggs says to Sanaa Lathan towards the end, spoiler alert, is, "I want you to be my perfect verse to a tight beat." That was basically him saying, "Yo, I want you to be my girl." Real good movie. Y'all should check it out if y'all haven't seen it. But it basically talks about in the movie, it's not only a romance. I believe it's considered a romantic comedy, maybe probably just a romantic movie, but it deals with hip hop, love and heartbreak, and all of that in between. It's a good movie. Y'all should check it out. Brown Sugar. Anyway, I got this article from the history channel.com. Hey, y'all should start writing y'all's own history if you guys don't want to have this stupid ass debate anymore. But the History Channel says, like any style of music, hip hop has roots in other forms, and its evolution was shaped by many different artists. But there's a case to be made that it came to life precisely on August 11th, 1973, at a birthday party in the recreational room of an apartment building in the West Bronx, New York City. The location of 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 that birthplace was one fit. I said 1520 Segwick Avenue. And the man who presided over that historic party was the birthday girl's brother, Clive Campbell, better known to history as DJ Kool Herc. Founding father of hip hop, born and raised to the age of 10 in Kingston, Jamaica, DJ Kool Herc began spinning records at parties, and between sets, his father's band played while he was a teenager in the Bronx in the early 1970s. Herc often emulated the style of Jamaican selectors, DJs, by toasting, i.e., talking over the record he spun. But his historical significance has nothing to do with rapping. Kool Herc's contribution to hip hop was even more fundamental. DJ Kool Herc's signature innovation came from observing how the crowd would react to different parts of whatever record he happened to be playing. I was noticing people used to wait for particular parts of the record to dance, maybe to maybe do their specialty move. These moments tended to occur at the drum breaks, the moment in a record when the vocal and other instruments would drop out completely for a measure of two or pure rhythm. What Kool Herc decided to do was to use the two turntables in a typical DJ setup, not as a way to make a smooth transition between two records, but as a way to switch back and forth repeatedly between two copies of the same record, extending the short drum break that the crowd most wanted to hear. He called his trick the merry-go-round. Today, it is known as the breakbeat. By the summer of 1973, DJ Kool Herc has been using and refining his breakbeat style for the better part of a year. However, his sister's party on August 11th put him before his biggest crowd with the most powerful sound system he'd ever worked. It was the success of the party that would begin a grassroots musical revolution. Fully 6 years before the term hip hop even entered the popular vocabulary. Now, there's also talks of, well, who really contributed to it? Did just African Americans contribute to it? Did Puerto Ricans that were in the South Bronx, did they contribute to it as well? Did Caribbeans contribute to it? To all those questions, it's yes. They all contributed to it. If you guys don't believe me, how about you believe somebody that was actually there when this shit all started?
None of that crazy.
So somebody asked a question because apparently there was a discussion online about Latinos' role in hip hop, early hip hop, and Caribbeans' roles in early hip hop.
Right. I saw Tariq Nasheed asking, was Puerto Ricans involved with hip hop? And the answer is yes. Yes, undoubtedly, yes. From the very, very, remember, if you're talking the South Bronx, if we're talking, now, let me preface this by saying hip hop has no birth date, right? So if we're talking about the spirit of the drum, the spirit of the dozens, art, all of that stuff is ancient. So probably no, they had nothing to do with that aspect. I'm only talking about from 1973, the current paradigm to the present day. They were there from the beginning. Most of them played a role in the graffiti and in the breakdancing, but we had DJ Charlie Chase, DJ Wiz. These are some Spanish DJs. Ruby D, Prince Whipper Whip is Spanish. DLB, Peso from the Fearless Four. The list goes on of DJs who were there from the beginning.
And those are all because people just asked you to name them, and you already just named some people.
Okay, yeah. So those were people who were there from the beginning, and we can't deny that. Even my DJ, Lou Breakbeat Flores, he did all of the ultimate breaks and beats, which made a lot of these dudes rich. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't know how to dig in the crates, and he compiled that. He's been my DJ since 1982. All right, so process that, and he was the DJ before that. You see what I'm saying? So when we start talking about early presence in hip hop, Dr. Dre used the break beats, Tariq, you know what I mean? So that's how him and Eazy-E met, from what I understand, in the record store looking over break beats. So there's always been a presence, and then it just they became their own tribe. So when it came down to the b-boying and boogieing, that seems to be where their DNA resonated the most. Or with the graph writers, we became the MCs and most of the DJs, but it was really all one thing. So for as far as I can remember, and I've been in hip hop since 77.
So because people like to fragment the history on founders and everybody else when there are so many different components that added to hip hop.
And somebody said what?
Exactly. Now, what Tariq Nasheed, and I will be tearing Tariq Nasheed a new asshole later on. What Tariq Nasheed is doing, he's trying to compile who are the founders of this. He doesn't care about who contributed. He wants to know, in his terms, was it all FBA people that did this, that were the founders of this? Okay, yeah, they were. Okay, Kool Herc, which is a Jamaican-born dude, which a lot of these people they're trying to put other dead art forms that don't even exist anymore as well. This is a part of hip hop, talking about bebop. This is like some old school like rapping that Ray Charles and them used to do back in the day on record. They would do bebop where they'll have some sort of like rhyme scheme for a song that they were doing. Also, they're trying to put in, well, the first break dancers. This is what T.I. put on his believe it was either his Instagram or his Twitter. He put a video up of some black dudes spinning around on their elbows and saying, "Yo, this is the first part of hip hop. This is where hip hop was birthed. With this, this is where breakdancing was birthed." No, motherfucker, this is how these people danced back then. People did the swing. They did swing dancing, and they would do all kinds of crazy ass shit, just like motherfuckers do now. Like all this crazy shit that they're doing. Like if there was a new art form that would come up today, and people took all the elements of the dances that are done on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, and whatever, and you know, if a new art form was created, they would be like, well, this is where all this what whatever a new musical art form would be called. This is where this came from. It's like, okay, but you do know that a lot of those dances back then were just dances that were made up on the spot. Motherfuckers spinning around up on their damn elbows and jumping around and swing dancing and shit like that. Those were the dances of those years. Bebop was the sound, which was kind of really underground back then, like in like the 50s and kind of the 60s. Bebop was kind of like a underground form of music that that crowd of people used to listen to, along with R&B, gospel, country, and stuff like that. But to say that Caribbeans and Puerto Ricans had nothing to do with hip hop and had nothing to contribute to hip hop is fucking blasphemy. Like, how the fuck are you gonna say uh Puerto Ricans didn't create hip hop? No one's saying that. But they did contribute. There's a lot of fucking Puerto Ricans who contributed. It's a lot of Caribbeans, such as Jamaicans, who contributed to hip hop. I don't understand why people are trying to be like, it was all FBA. What the fuck is an FBA? A Foundational Black American. What the fuck is that? Just call yourself a Moor. Those are who the foundational Black Americans are. And to these ADOS motherfuckers, American descendants of slaves, y'all get upset when a fucking slave movie hits theaters. But you want to call yourself American descendants of slaves. Fuck out of here with that bullshit, yo. For real. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Now, the origin of hip hop started with, which, like Black Dot said, the conceptual age of which we speak of when it was basically created for the masses to know is 1973. And to give a better indicator, August 11th, 1973, at a block party that Kool Herc did for his sister's birthday party. That's when the birth of hip hop started. Was Puerto Ricans there? Yes. You know why? Because fucking the Bronx was fucking desolate after all the well, not really desolate, but black people, Caribbean people, and Puerto Rican people all lived in the South Bronx around each other, if not with each other, in those project buildings, which most of them were burnt down and bulldozed down back in those times. So, with that being said, everybody needed something to do. There was nothing that was of any means of recreation for kids to do. So, what happened? Kool Herc was like, Kool Herc would DJ. He would DJ all of his, all of his jams with the music he grew up on, which is reggae, dance hall, stuff like that. And he saw these kids ain't dancing to this shit. Like, why ain't they dancing? They would go to he went to some of the kids. What y'all want to hear, yo? I'll be playing all this good music and y'all don't be up dancing. Man, we don't like that stuff. We want to hear like some James Brown or some Parliament or some some Temptations or something like that. Like something upbeat that we can dance to. He was like, okay, cool. I get it. So he started playing those songs. And then he saw they're only dancing to one part of this song. So what I'll do, I'll buy the same vinyl, and on that part that they like so much, I'll just keep looping it back to where this whole jam will be jamming. Like I'll be jamming on the one. I'll get these motherfuckers going. and then the party will be history. And that's what the fuck he did. That is the founding father of hip hop. Who of FBA founded hip hop other than Kool Herc? We really don't have many people to name other than Grandmaster Caz. Grandmaster Caz was there as well with him and the Cold Crush brothers. Who else? Who else do we got? Who else is a famous name at that time who was doing shit other than Fab Five Freddy? Fab Five Freddy, he used to host the rap battles. So you got Kool Herc, Grandmaster Caz, and the Cold Crush brothers, and Fab Five Freddy. Those are some of the founding people. Fab Five Freddy is Haitian. Kool Herc is Jamaican. Grandmaster Caz, I have no idea. He could be of African descent here in America. Who knows? I don't know. Nor do I care. Because you know why? I fucks with the Cold Crush brothers. I fuck with Fab Five Freddy. I fuck with DJ Kool Herc. I fuck with everybody who started hip hop. Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash. I fuck with all of them. It doesn't fucking matter who created it. You want to do all these dumbass fucking debates about bullshit. Sit the fuck down. Because, fuck it, I'll get into that later. Now, Tariq Nasheed has said the bullshit that he has said over the past few weeks about hip hop, right? So, Fat Joe entered into the fray as well because he was like, how was it that Puerto Ricans weren't there? I remember seeing Puerto Ricans participating in hip hop. And if you don't believe them, then fuck it. Who cares? But I'll continue because I forgot I had this video sitting here. Let's continue the video of what Black Dot, who was actually there during the time when hip hop started, why don't we let him talk about it?
It didn't just happen in the Bronx. No, it originated in the Bronx with DJ Kool Herc. I don't think there's any refuting that. All right. And it spread fast to many different places. Also, while hip hop was coming up, salsa was coming up. So a lot of the Spanish brothers were creating the salsa scene. But the ones who wasn't with the salsa, they immediately resonated to hip hop. So yeah, the boogie down.
That's kind of like how we would say that some of the old songs that our parents listened to, we would call, which those Puerto Rican people would probably call that salsa music their parents' music. They don't want to listen to their parents' music. Their parents' music is their parents' music. They want some music of their own that they can rock with. Well, what other music was popping at that time other than this underground art form called hip hop? Oh shit. You going to the jam on Saturday? Yeah, I'm going to the jam, yo. Yo, I got this outfit picked out. I'm trying to impress Sheila, yo. Like, let's go to the jam. Let's have some fun. Maybe Sheila dance with me. That's what the fuck was going on back then. They basically wanted to have fun. Who other to have fun with other than the black people that lived in their neighborhood? Because they were listening to the very music of which they resonated with. It has an up-tempo beat just like salsa. You can dance to it just like salsa. And you can basically, you know what I'm saying, like with these break beats that he's cutting, which James Brown is the most sampled artist in hip hop, along with Miles Davis and Miles Davis, Parliament Funkadelic, fucking who else? Shit. It's a lot of fucking old school artists that we can name which resonate. Look, we're not even bringing in house music into this fray. House music was created a decade later, 1983. House music, right there, which was basically an underground version of disco music. What else did hip hop take from? They took from R&B and funk. They took from soul. They took from certain rock. Look, fucking, it's this one song that was sampled, and I forgot by who. I want to say the Fushnikins, but I'm not sure if it was really them who did it. But it's an old time Partridge Family song, and it starts. The song starts by them going ba 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 ba. Fucking whoever sampled that shit put it on to a hip hop song, which was back in early 90s. That fucking song was jamming. Well, if you listen to the original song, in the beginning, that first part of the song, that shit was jamming. It's certain rock songs of which certain DJs took certain break beats from that basically influenced a whole fucking art form, along with James Brown's music, along with Miles Davis's music. Like, you name the genre, hip hop has stuck its foot in it and made it even better. So, how is it that only FBA had something to do with hip hop? If it sounded like it was a group effort with all of the people, even if they were immigrated to this country, or was born here and of Spanish descent, or just African Americans, they all had a hand in this shit. They all had a hand in it, and they all love the fucking art form to where it's a fucking $1 billion business now. But we're not the billionaires in it because we decided to sell the shit off to the music industry. But I digress. I'll let this video keep going.
If anybody tell you anything else other than Kool Herc, then they need to get their history in order. All right?
And this is from the author of Hip Hop Dakota.
Yes.
Put some respect on the script.
Yes. He was saying who was a creator akin to a Grandmaster Caz. Well, in Caz's group, the Cold Crush Brothers, was DJ Charlie Chase, is what I'm telling you. He was one of the first Spanish DJs we gave. They were in the same crew. And speaking of Grandmaster Caz, his first DJ, even before Charlie Chase, was a DJ named Wiz. I speak about him in my book. He was Spanish. So when we start speaking about Caz and the contribution, you know what I mean? And then I remember Caz made some a couple of controversial statements about the Spanish people's contributions to hip hop. I think it may have been taken out of context, but as far as I remember, I'm not a historian, I'm a mystorian. So I dealt more with the mysteries of hip hop. The history comes from those who were in the trenches, right? I told you I showed up in 70.
Pick up Black Dot's book, Hip Hop Decoded. That's all I have to say.
This had been going on, and I was only 9 years old at the time. This had been going on by the older guys on the block since at least 73. And according to Almighty KG of the Cold Crush Brothers, it goes back even further than.
If he was 9 in 77, in 73, he was what? 4 years old? So, what are we saying here? Or 3 years old, one of the two. So, he heard something as a child, and then later on as a child, he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna start rhyming on beat. I love this shit. Just like everybody else who was in the South Bronx was like, I love this shit. This is a way of life. This is our culture right here. We gonna fucking do this forever. And look at where it's at now. Look at where it's at now.
To 1971, where so
there were contributions. That's
yes,
what
plenty of contributions.
Saying not the founders, but he's saying contributions.
Smokey and the Lockatrons in 1971, who Grandmaster Flash used to carry their records. That's how far back this thing goes. So, and then and I'm gonna say this, they can't all get together and agree on the history either. They all get together, and it's always somebody who feel, well, my contributions.
I saw Grandma's Flash disc video for her. I was like, whoa,
yes. You see what I'm saying?
What's happening?
Right. So they can't even agree on themselves what needs to be done. Because I remember I sat with Karis One, and he was saying he was trying to create this curriculum by which every college would follow this particular curriculum, because you got a lot of college professors who ain't never been to a jam in the park, don't know what it's like to dig in the crates, steal electricity from the light pole, none of that kind of stuff. And yet they're teaching these courses because hip hop is worth being taught now, but they never experienced none of it. A lot of them be stealing. I did a lecture, and there was 3 professors there as I was doing the lecture. Black guys, well put together, and they were taking a lot of notes. So what Karis wanted said, listen, if anybody, we should be the ones that teach this, but they can't all get together to agree, because it has to be one agreed upon history.
Right.
Let me stop there. Did you hear what he said? They all can't come together and agree upon the history of hip hop. Now let's look at white folks. Even if they disagree with something, that's not the end all be all. They want to see where they all agree, and then the rest is history. We wouldn't get certain things in America if white men were always at each other's throats about the history of something. We would fucking. This is the reason why black people have a hard time with coming together, because you can say it all day, but if you can't come together with a general consensus of something, we're already losing. So by him saying it was these college professors in my lectures, and I seen a lot of Black Dot's lectures back in the early 2010s, seen a lot of his lectures when it came to hip hop. If he can go to a bookstore, if he can go to a rec room, or wherever he was doing his lectures at, and basically give everybody the history and the mystery systems and where certain things connect when it comes to hip hop, to black culture in the diaspora. And then these fools is taking notes and going back to their classrooms and coming up with a way to teach what they saw and what they took notes on. Why the fuck are we having a goddamn debate of what's the origins of it and who contributed to it? We can't even come to a consensus of that. So it's a useless fucking argument to have. So I suggest Tariq Nasheed right now to stop the bullshit and shut the fuck up. He probably won't ever see this, but if he does, Tariq Nasheed, shut the fuck up. Because you sit here and you fucking talk as much shit as you do. You're about to have a useless ass fucking black museum that no one asked for. You raise money for it the same way as one of the people that you don't like who wanted a school, who did it the same way. You made fun of him, but then you did it the exact same way and no one has a problem with it. You're going to have an African American museum in Los Angeles. Who the fuck's going to go to it other than people who are on the West Coast? And what the hell is going to be in there? Are you going to have certain artifacts of stuff of what we've never seen before? Are you going to have certain things? Like, what are you going to have in there? Because all I see is a business failing within its first 3 months. But moving on, you have FBA to contribute to that, so maybe it'll win. I don't know. But this is what I will say. This motherfucker is the main motherfucker who's causing all of this division when it comes to black immigrants who come to this country and African Americans all the time when he's on his Twitter spaces. He's causing all these fucking issues between black people for no good fucking reason. Like, do you understand, Tariq, that the goal for black people in this country is for all of us to come together as a collective, and not only that, not only have us all come together as a collective, but also have us sit and agree with shit as well. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be to where, we're stepping on each other's toes. We just have to have a general consensus of shit that we need to fucking agree upon. Because all these bullshit ass marches that we keep going on because black people are being killed by police, all these bullshit ass riots that keep happening, and y'all stealing shit that ain't gonna be worth shit after you fucking take it, and you might go to jail for it as well. Like, all this bullshit that's happening, but we can't come to a general consensus when it comes to our own history. You thought since you gave us Hidden Colors that was the end. That's all of our fucking shit. But you fucked it up after 3, when you started getting none of the scholars that was on 1 through 3 started getting a whole bunch of rap artists and a whole bunch of celebrities and shit in your shit. And it's like, how in the fuck are you gonna push the scholars that you had in Hidden Colors 1 through 3? How you gonna push them to the side to then have a whole bunch of motherfuckers who probably, if not maybe, didn't read to the point to where these other guys who are scholars, who put in the hours, who taught people, like what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, by Tariq Nasheed causing this division between black people and Puerto Ricans and black immigrants from the Caribbean or from Africa itself. After it's all said and done, Tariq, what do you expect to get out of it? Because the main thing I hear y'all FBA people and ADOS people talking about is reparations. You can't come to a general consensus of what the fuck to call yourself. It's 2 split factions, if you haven't seen it, Tariq. ADOS and FBA. Have you not looked at that? Two separate entities who want the same exact fucking thing. But you can't come together and be like, the general consensus is this. It makes no fucking sense. Let's continue.
You did that. You came. You did that. And if they can't do that, then
it's because like people like when there's so many different people with something as big as hip hop, like they have their perspective on a lot, and when you revisit a lot of that stuff, you change it from details.
Of course, listen.
It's a lot,
I went
bro.
to see the park recently, and as a kid, when I was 9 years old, this park was humongous,
and it's tiny
now.
Yeah,
and Herc was 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cool Herc. And you see him, stand behind the turntables. This nigga looked like the Predator. He had his dreads and shit, and was the biggest dude I ever saw.
Yeah.
Right? Now I stand next to Herc. He's still a little big, but I'm like, so your perspective changes as you get older, and some of the history is revisited, and it is, what it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I understood what Tariq was saying, but I wanted to clarify some things for him. So yes, of Grandmaster Caz, right off his tree is a couple of Spanish individuals who've made contributions.
All right.
Now, you heard it here first. You heard it from someone who was actually there. Not a motherfucker who grew up on the West Coast talking about that's not the origins of hip hop. How the fuck would you know if you was living in LA, or if you was living in San Diego, or if you was living in San Francisco, or Oakland? How the fuck would you know the origins of something of which you were never there? I don't understand. So, Fat Joe is facing social media's wrath for comments he made about the origins of hip hop culture during a recent Instagram live. I'm not going to show that live. Y'all can go and see it yourself. It all started on Friday, August 26th, when the Terror Squad captain shared a video that paid homage to Latino hip hop pioneers. Now, like I said, I'm not going to play the video, but we're going to have another person who started all of this clarify who actually were contributors to this art form we call hip hop. This is Grandmaster Caz saying who contributed.
Peace. It's your boy, Grandmaster Caz. Now, I've recently heard some controversy going around on Twitter about a comment I made in a Vlad interview a few years back. Well, let me clear some shit up for you right about now. Some of the first Latinos in hip-hop were down with me. Disco Wiz, Charlie Chase, Joe Conzo, the man who took hip-hop's baby pictures, Prince Whipper Whip, okay? All Latinos, all part of my crew. Okay, so there's no way that I could talk about there not being a Latino presence in the culture of hip hop. Now, I've stuck my foot in my mouth a couple of times on Vlad interviews, and they probably caught an off, comment or something like that. But let me clear that up. For all my brothers, my Latino brothers and sisters in hip hop, I've been an advocate since day one. So knock the bullshit off. Peace.
Now, this was a founding father saying this shit. He gave you a brief history lesson of who was all down. Himself, with the Cold Crush Brothers, had not one, but two Latin Hispanic DJs. All right. Had Latin DJs, Latin or Hispanic DJs. So where the fuck you get off that Puerto Ricans didn't contribute? Oh, no. His argument was Puerto Ricans didn't create hip hop. Oh, okay. Nobody asked that question at all. I believe Puerto Ricans didn't say out of their mouth, yeah, we created hip hop. Pretty sure that never happened. But if you allow this guy, Tariq Nasheed, to fucking tell you no one who wasn't FBA contributed to hip hop, which is a fucking lie. Now, here he wrote in the caption, thank you for your contribution to hip hop. The following day, he hopped on Instagram Live to not only big up DJ Khaled's new God Did album, but also address some of the negative comments he was seeing about the post. I tell you, I never really fuck with Twitter, but I go on there to see. Let's see. I go on to see they always hating on me and shit. He begins. He begins around the 52-minute mark Lately, they've been talking about Latinos wasn't in rap. These guys are fucking delusional. We're from the Bronx. We're from the Bronx, New York. Shit happens. That's what Fat Joe said. This is where hip hop started. It's Latino and black, half and half. But he wasn't talking about hip hop. He was talking about the surroundings. It was half and half. Black people, which were Africans and Caribbean descent, who parents probably immigrated here to America, and Puerto Ricans, i.e., Latinos or Hispanics, which also includes Cubans and Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. So now, am I saying that these other groups contributed to hip hop? I don't know. They probably did. They were there. Like they were fucking there. So how would I know? I wasn't there. I wasn't born yet in 1973. So I wouldn't know. You have to hop 15 years over to get to me. That's when I was born. 15 years later. Now, these shoot, where was I at? But they go but they're going at me because I'm like the only Spanish dude with a big voice. Like fuck that. Latinos weren't there. You were invited. You are a specimen. I don't know what is up with these people who don't know their facts. So there were some comments. Comments addressing Fat Joe's video started pouring in on Twitter as it as it made the rounds. Well, she trended this week. I believe it was Monday he trended. One person claimed DJ Khaled is arguably the biggest culture vulture in hip hop, and we have Fat Joe, another culture vulture, to thank for that. While another said, I'm not here to shit on Fat Joe or tear down his legacy, but this rhetoric needs to be addressed and checked. If he avoided this conversation, he will be. If he avoids this conversation, he will be destroying his legacy. I'm also more surprised at the guys around him that aren't saying anything. Silence means complacent. Uh, Others were even more aggressive with their thoughts. Other person who goes by Pharaoh Jones called Fat Joe racist and suggested he was stealing hip hop music. Which Pharaoh Jones says this: racist white Latino Fat Joe is trying to steal hip hop from Black Americans by saying that Hispanics created hip hop. Cancel this culture vulture. Where did he say that? He did. Look, and I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because this fucking these fucking people that are online today, they fucking irk the shit out of me. They irk the shit out of me to the point to where if I ever come in contact with any of these motherfuckers, I'm pretty sure I will punch them in their fucking face. Because you basically took somebody's words out of context. You probably didn't even listen to the full video. Cause a lot of people these days don't have time for long form entertainment because TikTok and certain videos on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook are cut down to 30 seconds to a minute now. So a lot of people don't have time to hear real information because they can't handle it. It's sensory overload. To all those people who don't look at long form entertainment, who don't have their facts straight, how about you shut the fuck up? How about that? How about that? You can at me on that. Shut the fuck up. How about that? Now, the birth of hip hop has been commemorated every year on August 11th, the day Jamaican DJ Kool Herc and his sister Cindy Campbell threw where am I at? Through their famous back to school jam at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the Bronx on August 11th, 1973. Hip hop has always been a melting pot of different cultures and will celebrate its 50th birthday in 2023. If you talk to Grandmaster Flash, Kool Herc, or African Bambaataa, or any of the early DJs, they all talk about the Breakers, who in the 70s and 80s were mainly Latinos. And keeping them happy on the dance floor, hip hop historian Nelson George wrote in his book Hip Hop America. Now, I gotta bring this up. I forgot to bring that up. But as we wait for this, let me bring this up real fast. Oh, I can't bring this up. Oh, that sucks. Hold up. Give me 3 minutes. All right. So let me get this situated, and then all right. Here on the screen, I have that very snippet from his book. Uh, all right. So this is what it says. Nelson George writes in Hip Hop America that hip hop is a result of post civil rights era in America, which he describes as a set of cultural forms originally nurtured by African American, Caribbean American, and Latin American youth in and around New York in 1970. What the fuck he have to fucking lie for? Now, now, what the hell? What the hell he has to lie for? Like, it's no reason to lie about bullshit. Now, continuing with this, if you talk about some of the famous break crews who broke through and got known by the early '80s, the majority were Latino dancers like Rocksteady Crew's Crazy Legs. So if the idea of hip hop DJ is predicted on keeping dancers dancing, then the Latino aspect is crucial. Their aesthetic, their taste, their ability to dance all affected what was played and how it was played. All right? Now, we have one more person to enter this fray. And this was way before, well, this was before Tariq Nasheed started sticking his nose in shit. This is where Tariq Nasheed actually got his debate from. Was from Busta Rhymes doing the show by saying this when it comes to the history of hip hop.
How the origin of hip hop was started. The origin of hip hop was started by the power of Black and Puerto Rican people.
Now, if it came off the backs of Black and Puerto Rican people, which they're all contributing factors to this, how is it that Latinos had nothing to do with the art form? How is it that Caribbeans had nothing to do with the art form? Now, with that being said, how is it that you can deny history, right? If you call yourself a historian, I'm pretty sure he'll be coming out with a fucking origins of hip hop DVD that he's gonna sell. Cause that's all we're good for him is to buy his fuck shit. I'm here to tell y'all right now. I didn't see it when it came to Hidden Colors. I didn't see it when he started making bullshit ass NFTs. I think he called them slave NFTs. I didn't really pay too much attention to it when, you know, he came out with his other documentary 1804. I didn't really pay attention to it. But it was when he started to downgrade almost any and everybody who wasn't of FBA descent or ADOS descent. That's when he started choking on his words. He started to stick his foot in his mouth, if you will. So, what I want to say after I get this stuff deleted off my computer. How is it that none of these people had anything to do with the origins of hip hop? Because it's very weird that he can say out of his mouth that none of these people had anything to do with the origins of hip hop when those exact people were actually there. And not only were they there, they were DJing jams and they were DJing for, you know, certain crews and shit. Like, what are you talking about? So, the whole debate was started by Tariq Nasheed himself on Twitter Spaces, right? So lately, Tariq has been trying to separate Black people in the diaspora and Latin Hispanic people as well. This man is a cancer to the Black community, and I mean my fucking words. I don't give a fuck. He race baits and tries to make Black people into a monolith. Melanated people are not a monolith. If I have said this too many times, this will be the last time I say it. What does it matter of the origins of hip hop if we can't say we make the decisions, or I'm sorry, that What does it matter if we don't own the art form? What does it matter if black people dominate hip hop if we can't make the decisions when it comes to hip hop? The origins of hip hop is what it is. Look what it produced. How many millionaires has it brought us? How many black men and women were able to turn their lives around all through music? So since we don't own the art form anymore, we don't control the art form anymore, what's the next art form of song and dance and culture are we going to create in the future that we can claim rightfully ours again? Because all I see is us participating in an art form that we used to own before we sold it to the music industry. Caribbean and Puerto Rican immigrants were right there in the Bronx, as well as other parts of New York City, with the African American natives enjoying hip hop with us, exchanging their culture and customs with us while we showed them our culture and customs, all while jamming on the one and grooving to the beat. That's what the fuck happened. So if you don't agree with it, Tariq Nasheed, I say this to you with I say this to you from the bottom of my heart. Just go to hell and take whatever your thoughts are about hip hop with you, because we don't need you. So, I guess nobody wanted to come up here and talk, so that's fine. So we'll end the show. So with that being said, I thank you guys for being here tonight. Let me give you guys a big round of applause. Let me go over these promotions, then let's get the hell on out of here. People, every Friday I do a game stream. I stream on not only here on YouTube to both of my YouTube channels, also stream to Twitch. So if you want to check me out, I'm here on YouTube on this channel as well as my second channel, Marcus Speaks. Let me get to that. As well as Marcus Speaks Play. Sorry, let me do that over. Not only do I stream here on Marcus Speaks, I also stream on Marcus Speaks Play. You get the links to those channels are in the description box below. But also, if you go to either channel, you can subscribe to both channels, all right? Like I said, I also do this game stream here on, not here, but I also do it on Twitch. You can catch me there. You can catch last night's video there. They only keep it for 7 days. So, have at it. Get to it. But I also have a playlist here of everything that I've played, not only here on Marcus Speaks, but also on Marcus Speaks Play. Also, Saturdays, just like today, I do this here podcast, Marcus Speaks Live. Streaming live every Saturday at 6:30 until, so you'll get me until I get tired of talking. So, yeah, please be my guest, come on through. You guys, if you want to, you can come up here and talk to me. All right? I'm not saying you have to, but if you have something to say about any of the topics that I present on my podcast days, you can. The link is right in the live chat. You can check it out. You can be when you come back here to the backstage, there's 3 rules. All right? Those 3 rules are: you must be on camera. That's number 1. Number 2, if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to with the public, but you still have to be on camera when you come back here to the backstage. There's a private chat back here that you can talk to me with. Don't make it a conversation. Just let me know your name and if you want to be on camera or not. So when I see your name here on the backstage, I know who wants to be on camera and who does not. So with that being said, I'll let you know, turn your camera off, and we can get to the conversation. You'll get 3 to 5 minutes to make your point. If the conversation gets good, I'll keep it longer, but you get 3 to 5 minutes. And lastly, the last thing on the list is please silence all background noise because I don't want to hear nothing that's going on in your house. So please get to a secluded place in your house or lower the volume on your TV. And if you're watching me on your phone or TV, please turn me off when you come up here and talk to me. I don't want to hear feedback of myself. So, last thing on that is, people, this shit's free. Like this video, subscribe, and share it to your social medias, alright? It's all free. You don't have to waste time and ask how much money it is. It's all free. Alright? Just do me that favor by liking this video, sharing this video, and subscribing if you're new here. And like I said, I do this every Saturday, as well as Mark Speaks Play every Friday. Both times at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, people, with that being said, I'm out. But before I go, please focus on getting that guap, that money, that moolah. All right. Also, please drink more water for health benefits. Mind your own damn business, and last, do your own research because you don't want to be drinking shit. I'm your host, Marcus. This has been Marcus Speaks Live. I thank y'all for watching, and I'll check you guys out next Friday. Peace out.